So, good evening, Black women. I came on late because I didn't really think a lot of you would be on, and I figured you guys would catch the replay because I'm going to be doing a lot of reading tonight to you guys instead of just talking about how I feel about the situation because I really want to have a conversation and talk to you about the very serious problem of too many of our young Black women going no contact with their parents and also believing in this whole parent alienation that has been created by white therapists, white psychologists, and white people in general who have been studying the Black family for several years and have finally perfected the Black family destruction. Okay. Now I'm going to be referring to books and I'm going to be reading from these books to you guys in this video. So if you want to stop, go, come back, do that because it's going to be a little while tonight because I want to get this information out. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to use the information I got from Google Genius to literally show you that everything that they are teaching young Black women in regards to disrespecting their parents, and I want that to be understood, disrespecting their parent, which is the Black mother, because the Black mother is 90% of the time the head of household in most families, whether she's poor, rich, or middle class. And that is due to the profound levels of domestic violence in our households caused by Black males. And the reason I keep stressing this is because it's real obvious, but it seems not to be obvious or common sense to the young Black women whose videos I'm seeing being pushed through the algorithm like crazy to further cause the divide and conquer between Black mothers and daughters who are literally keeping Black families alive today, right? Can't seem to understand that once you lose the relationship of the Black mother and daughter, because you no longer have a relationship between the father, the mother, and the children. The Black man has been gone from the Black family since the 1960s. Okay? So now you have already removed one parent from the family structure. And you know, as Black people, we do not and never have believed in a nuclear family. We have always been in different variations of extended family. Okay? So now that you've already lost one parent, which is the father, white people are now working on removing the second most important parent, which is the mother. And y'all got to understand what I'm saying, once the Black mother is removed from the family, there is no more Black family. There is no more continuance of Black history. Everything is lost. And I'm going to go into that later, and I'm going to further show you how the racism in psychiatry, right, extends to even what they program into AI, so that when you go to ask Gemini or Chat GPT, what are the outcomes of long-term effects in the Black community of parent alienation or no contact with parents, it gives you the regurgitated bullshit of white people, or I should say colored in white people, or Black white people. It doesn't give you anything about how it will definitely destroy the Black families. These young Black women are not understanding that when they put through the final rift of tearing apart the relationship between the black mother and the daughter, you no longer have a people. And so all of the work that black people have done to survive in this country and to teach their daughters to be proficient and resilient, aggressive, strong, and all those things, all of those good attributes that mothers took time to build up in their daughters, and to take away all of that timidness and fear that a lot of young girls had because of the conditions of poverty and oppression we lived in collectively as a people in this country. When these white people successfully tear apart that relationship, and there is no buffer between the young black woman and the children that come after her, all our girls are lost for the future. There will be nothing that holds us together as that black solidarity, that black unity that has kept us together and kept us thriving in this country for all the hundreds of years of us living in the existence under American colonization. And I have said this so many times, and tonight I'm just going to read about it and talk about it. The way they've studied us, they have finally found out the way to destroy us is literally to destroy the black family. And I don't mean their nuclear version of mother, father, and children. I mean the spiritual, the genetic, the relationship, the tangible connection between mothers and daughters. Mothers are always the first teachers of the child. And when you teach that child to disrespect, disregard, and throw in the garbage that mother of that child, you no longer have to worry about a people, period. And they are successfully doing that to our children with the help of this internet, TikTok especially, and other apps that are promoting heavily the white strategy of black family destruction, which is parent alienation and no contact, and children believing that they have the right to discipline their parents as if they are the parent of the parent, and to show no respect to their black mothers, period. After America has gone through, since the beginning of indentured servitude into slavery, an entire legacy and indoctrination of the demonization of black motherhood. And I'm going to begin to talk about that. I have told you guys forever about this book, Dark Psychology by William Cooper, and I want to read one of the strategies that they're using right now on our black girls to get them to disrespect their mothers and curse their mothers, fight their mothers, beat, kill, and do all kinds of things to their mothers that have never, ever been done before in the history of black people in America. And I want to explain to you how they're doing that so that hopefully before they take this video down, some amount of people will see it, where it will begin to start them thinking on a different way of dealing with the problems they're having with communication between them and their mother, and understanding the humanity of their mother instead of reducing their mother to fucking annoyance and destroying their own future without even knowing what they're doing. This is what these young black women don't understand is this is the classic practice of white people's divide and conquer. And no matter how many times you try to tell them, you must stop listening to these white people, you must stop listening to these therapists about you protecting your peace and you having the right to defend yourself. It's the fucking game. It is a way to dummy you down to make you think that only you are important in this world. And the way you interact with other people, the way you deal with the dynamics of this world is not important. Only you and what you want and what you think and how you feel. And is that not being a fucked up white person in itself as a black person? When I go back to dark psychology, what they're using on young black girls today, instead of doing real therapy, which is to teach people coping skills, which is a way of explaining it to people and showing people that there are ways for you to tolerate shit in this life that really gets on your fucking nerves, or that traumatizes you, or that takes you out of your comfort zone. That's what therapy is for. Therapy is not to tell you to alienate yourself from your mother, to hate your mother, and then try to hurt, fight, blame, and shame your mother for things that she has no fucking control over. As black people, as black women, both mothers and daughters, we live within a fucking system that has been created to fucking destroy us and keep us in a subjected, oppressed, and suppressed state. We see this clearly every day by the attacks on black women by this particular administration. The loss of over, do y'all realize that there has been 1.1 million jobs lost in this country, with black women being 80% of that fucking number? When you think about the fact that black women are like 90% of the breadwinners of black families in this country, what the fuck is that telling people? That should be making your eyes pop wide open as to the actual assault on black women in this country. But instead, you have these young, very naive, and very immature black women trying to blame every bit of pain, every bit of discomfort, disappointment, and whatever other personal crisis they're going through on their mother only, as if their mother does not live in a white supremacist country that literally comes after black women every day, upset and strategically working to chip away all the progress that black women have made in this country in the last 70 years. Let me get into this, right? So, in their typical fashion of divide and conquer, they can't just come out and tell you, we're teaching you to do these things and we're trying to explain to you that this is the better way to address your problems, because we need you to break down the things that keep you strong, that keep you able to survive all of the attacks we put out against you, to make you mentally weak, so that when we tell you something is red when it's actually blue, you will not argue with us. You will just accept the first thing we tell you just because we said it was so. And the way they get you to this point is to build you up to being stuck literally on stupid. And they do it by a thing called the gradual strategy. And they're all a part of it. When Oprah did that little special on families in America, it is literally 1/3 of America, which is a lot of people and a lot of families, right? Where their children no longer talk to their parents, they don't deal with their family, and they are continuing the cycle of breaking apart families and losing their identities and their history by breaking off from their families and teaching their children, who are learning this as they live this process, to later do it to the very parents that are doing it right now to their parents in the future. They are literally creating a vicious cycle that will never stop in the Black community, and they are doing it on purpose. But let me get back to the process that they're using. So this gradual strategy to get an unacceptable measure accepted is enough to introduce it gradually, little by little, for consecutive years in such a way that it's virtually unsuspected. This is what happens. For example, with the reduction in workers' rights, they're just giving an example. In several companies, measures or ways of working have been implemented, which have ended up making it accepted and normal that a worker has no guarantee of social protection. These changes would have caused a revolution if they had not been implemented a little at a time, but instead all at one time. So basically what they're saying is they were literally taking away workers' rights a little at a time. And they realized that if they would have took all the rights away at one time, it would have caused a revolution, they say. But because they were doing it little by little, people didn't notice that it was building up to such a loss of their rights. And you could literally apply that to right now. And this is the same thing that's happening with our families and the relationships between Black women and I was going to say little girls, but Black women and their daughters. Black women are literally trying to tell their daughters, but with frustration, because as Black women, because this has happened to me personally as well, we live under such a cloud of stereotypes and being dehumanized by the whole world, and specifically our own Black males and our daughters who are dealing with the shame of being Black and being a Black woman or a Black young woman. They turn around in the same way we say these males on here are projecting their self-hatred onto us. They have now taught that to our daughters, and our daughters are teaching it to our grandchildren. And instead of them projecting it on somebody else, they project it back on the only person they can, which they feel is beneath them, the same way the Black males do it to the women. These young women are now doing it to their mothers, because their mothers are now older than they were when they were children. And when they were children, they had the right sense to look up to their parents and understand, because they needed their parents to survive, that these people were the nurturers, the ones that were supposed to provide you with everything you needed to be able to navigate this world. But now that they've gotten to the point where they no longer need the assistance to survive in the world, and I mean that in the sense of staying alive, not giving them money to survive or housing or anything like that, they are now looking at the mother as being fully inadequate, not useful in any way, and dismissible. Meaning, I don't need you anymore. I could throw you away, because society has taught me and is teaching me you are no longer valuable to me, and I do not need you anymore because you no longer have usefulness. The same way patriarchy teaches little boys and ignorant grown men that young women are more desirable than older women. Young women are more valuable than older women. It's the same fucking thought process. Wrong thought process, but the same process where society teaches people to disregard and dismiss people once they tell you and you believe their bullshit that this person is no longer useful to you anymore. And this is what is happening in our communities. So as they're using this strategy on us to desensitize ourselves towards each other and hate each other, and literally get to the point where We decide, I no longer give a fuck about this person. I literally hate this person. I don't ever want to fucking see or communicate with this person. Look how crazy that shit is. The very person who sacrificed their own life, their health, wealth, and safety to bring me into this world. And in many circumstances and situations, the very person who didn't eat but made sure I was able to eat, who didn't have but made sure I was able to have, now that society is telling you the way you feel about something is more important than your mother's feelings, and your humanity is more important than her humanity. You're supposed to say, fuck you. I don't care if you are my mother. I can go live my life, teach my children to hate you, and never want to see you or talk to you or give a fuck about you ever again in life. And that makes me the better person. That is what therapists and psychiatrists are teaching Black young women today, to totally destroy the existence of the Black family and to take away our traditions of history teaching, identity making, and the Black women's solidarity that has always been the strength of Black people in this country. They have literally sat down and found out, we already took the man out. We made him suffer from an inferiority complex with white men and desire white women. So now the way we destroy the women and the children is that we will put a rift right down the middle between the Black mothers, who are the matriarchs, and the Black daughters, who are the ones to carry on the teachings of that matriarch. We're going to rip them apart so that none of them have a connection anymore. Everybody hates each other. Everybody is hurting each other. So therefore, we never have to worry about these people coming together the way they have done in all the hundreds of years in this country under our colonization, under our oppression and suppression and surviving and thriving. We don't have to worry about that anymore, because now they're going to hate each other to the point and hurt each other and can't stand to be around each other to the point where they will literally, and it's fucked up to say it, they will literally make themselves go extinct or become endangered. Because what happens is, as Black women and daughters keep generating this hatred for each other, less children will be born. Those Black girls will hate to see their image replicated in their children. So they will go out and start having children with other races of people more than they do now. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but it will be the main thing they focus on, because the Blackness of who they are will be such a hateful thing to them, such a disdaining, nasty, unagreeable thing to them. They're going to do whatever it takes to get rid of it, to wash away the human stain that white people in America have taught them their Black mother represents. And as this continues, because children learn what they live, the self-hate of Blackness will grow to such a psychological point that eventually white people will win, and their day of having no Black people, period, in this country or in the world will happen. And it will begin with us, as many things have begun with us. And when mothers are trying to tell these young Black women, you have got to be mentally stronger than that. The fact that you allow these white people to get in your head and literally teach you that the stereotype of a strong Black woman was only predicated on you thinking you were literally supposed to be a modern day slave, servicing everybody, wearing yourself thin to make everybody else happy, but yourself was the only definition of that term or that phrase, to the point where now you literally think being weak and unable to be resilient is who you're supposed to be. And it's only going to kill us in the long term. And I mean that literally. So back to this, right? The gradual strategy is based on the boiled frog principle. And y'all know what the boiled frog principle is. It's a metaphysical, a metaphorical principle told by the American philosopher Chomsky to describe the bad ability of human beings to adapt to unpleasant and harmful situations without reacting. Basically, the whole thing about the boiled frog principle, because they're too wordy, it is literally putting a frog in a bucket or either a pot of water repeatedly over a long period of time, to where the frog is very used to you putting them in the pot and just letting them sit in a pot of water. But unbeknownst to the frog, you're turning up the heat a little bit more each time you put his ass in the pot and in the water, and you're sitting him there for the longer length of time, till the day comes where you literally get him used to the hot water so much that you could put his ass into a boiling pot of hot water and he literally dies. And he goes into the pot willingly and will literally sit there as he's being boiled alive, because he has been conditioned to those conditions and the environment. It's the same shit like Pavlov's dog. The ones where, they was ringing a bell and shit, and the dogs were salivating because every time they rang the bell, they would feed them. So it got to the point where the dogs were so trained because of the ritual of every time I hear that bell, I know I'm going to eat. So every time they heard the bell, even though they didn't see food, they would start salivating for the food. Oh, yeah, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to eat. And that is what they're doing to us right now in real time. And we're not paying attention because we're so busy trying to always assimilate into whiteness. And too many of us code switching in real life inside our head, where we're forgetting that as Black people, we have never been a people to be worshiping and kissing the ass of whiteness and wanting to be white or be just like White Mike, right? We've always been a people who have been very proud of our Blackness, who we are, the history we came from, and what makes us who we are. But when you let the teachings of therapists and psychiatrists and all those people, I even have the book of that one lady that was on Oprah's show. I want to show it to you. What did I do with it? Because I was looking at it and I was seeing how everything she's saying in this book. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Everything she's saying in this book is to demonize motherhood and parents. Because when they make these books, they're never talking about fathers. They're always basing everything wrong with a child on its mother. And we know that from everything we've seen in movies to videos, television, newspapers, magazines. They always blame any type of childhood trauma, whether it's real or invented by the therapist, on the mother. And the reason they do that is because patriarchy programs women to protect men at all costs. So the mother is always going to be the villain in society. And when you actually read the history of Black motherhood and the demonization of Black motherhood, it has always been a constant with the Black mother and the child. From slavery to today, she's ignorant, she's stupid, She's going to teach her kids to be stupid. She's a welfare bum queen. She's going to teach her kids to be a welfare bum queen. Always something negative, always something where there is a low expectation for the mother and the child as long as they're Black. Thus, today, when you have grown people who honestly, because we all been children, cannot truly recall day by day, moment by moment, exactly what their childhood entailed, what their teens entailed, and what their young adulthood entailed, verbatim, minute by minute, because nobody's mind works like that. Not even people with a photographic memory. And you know that the interpretation of a child's mind versus a full frontal lobe developed adult's mind are two fucking different animals. So to base your hatred and your need to want to blame, shame, and hurt your mother for the things the world is making you feel and the inadequacies you have internally put on your mom is totally wrong. But this is the shit they are advocating, promoting, and saying is a necessity for you to be a well-rounded person today. What they're literally saying without directly coming out and saying it to you is you're not a fully functioning, well put together, emotionally sharp and viable person if you do not hate your mother, especially if your mother is Black and only Black. And these women are not picking this up. They're not. Black children do not have the same experience of children who are raised by white mothers. We know this as a matter of fact. One, because of the racial factor. Two, because of how many mulattoes and half-breeds have you seen on this app and every other app complaining about their childhood and being called nigger their whole life, being raised by those women. But yet you have Black young adult women believing people who have gone into a profession and do not even think Black people are human to tell them what and how they should think about their mother. And they are actually believing this shit. Let me get down to the bottom of it. All right. They talk about, again, with the boiled frog principle. In the truth of the boiled frog phenomenon dates back to, listen to what I'm saying, dates back to research conducted by Johns Hopkins University in 1882. During an experiment, some American researchers noticed that by throwing a frog into a pot of boiling water, it inevitably jumped out to save itself. On the contrary, by putting the frog into a pot of cold water and heating the pot slowly but steadily, the frog would inevitably end up boiled. Didn't I explain that to y'all a minute ago? Now, I had told y'all before in many other videos, every time you make a video, they're always watching your videos. AI is watching your videos. They're watching the response to the videos. They're watching the physical, behavioral reaction to videos. So when they saw that when they started putting out no contact videos into the Black community, and a lot of Black girls, listen to me now, who grew up with stigmas related to colorism, the main one, colorism, hair texturism, facial featureisms, right? Said, oh my goodness, now I can actually give an identity to all of the personal crisis or a lot of the personal crisis and pains I felt about being a black woman, being a black girl or black young woman for the longest time, and I didn't know how to identify it. And not only do I get to identify the hurt and the pain I was feeling that the society has been inflicting upon me and my own community since I've been a baby, but now I get to blame a person for it who actually is a victim just like myself. But I'm not going to recognize the fact that she's a victim too, because she's my mother, and society and nature has told me she's supposed to be my ultimate protector. Even though sometimes some people's mothers are so fucked up mentally and everything else, they couldn't help their children if they wanted to, because they've been so fucking severely damaged in life. But yet these same young black women will go, wow, I could use this to help me mask some of the pain, not really deal with the problem, but make it seem like I'm dealing with the pain. I'm going to be just as performative as these people brainwash me to be, to make me think that I'm actually taking away the pain, when in reality, you're not taking away the pain. You're just distancing yourself from someone who actually cares about you a hell of a lot more than a therapist does, than the white American society does, and anybody else in society does. And so now you are doing nothing but putting a big fucking bullseye on your chest and walking out into society and going, hey, I'm here. I've done it. I have managed to mentally and physically distance myself from the one person who brought me in this world and actually would care if I died today or tomorrow. And I did that for all of you who will normally abuse me, exploit me, and use me for whatever you can get from me. And that is literally what's happening. Like, I was listening to a live tonight, which actually prompted me to do this because I was getting tight, right? I was listening to mothers crying, literally crying, and some of them like speaking about how hurt they are about their daughters taking their grandchildren and leaving, and not even thinking about their own children's relationships, and most importantly, their fucking feelings about their grandparent or whoever it is they're taking these children from, and just running off into society and being with everybody else except for the people who actually have always been some form of security for them. All right. So I'm listening, and what is happening is that even though they're distancing themselves from the mothers, their lives are not getting better. As a matter of fact, like in the case with my daughter, the things that the mothers were warning them about actually came true and was literally fucking them up in life. And now they're stuck in a situation where you and whatever type of pride you have, or whatever is going on with you mentally, where you cannot say, look, we should talk and kind of hash this shit out so that we are not fully no contact. Maybe we could be low contact, or we could come up with each other's boundaries of how I don't offend you, you don't offend me, and we can still communicate and make this shit work again. They don't do that. They want to keep face, and they want to continue to add insult to fucking injury. They're already hurt. They don't have their mama. The men they're with, they see this shit, they like it. And now, wherever she's with this dude, she's isolated from a person who would protect her, who would do whatever she could to get her out of that fucked up situation. And now she's in a situation where this person is doing exactly what the mother predicted. He's a piece of shit. He's no fucking good for you. You should not have all those kids by that motherfucking bum. And now she's suffering, and her children are suffering. And 9 out of 10 times, like in the case of my daughter, they don't listen to the mother. They don't do all the things they need to do in life to safeguard themselves, so that if they are estranged from the mom, they have their own money, their own ability and access to get out of that situation and still be able to take care of themselves. I know many of y'all have heard of the domestic violence pyramid, right? When you go back to that pyramid, you will see that isolation of the victim is like one of the biggest fucking phases of domestic violence. And as these young Black women are stupidly, and I'm saying it that way because I'm passionate about the emotions I'm having about how they're allowing society and these fucking therapists and these white people who have this fucking goal of destroying Black people in the Black family, period. And we know this shit is real. I'm not just some crazy Black woman saying this. The dude who sat and wrote the whole Project 2025 did his whole fucking thesis on the resiliency of Black people and their families. So if they're not studying you and have not figured out that the family component, the relationship between mother and daughter is the key to Black people, they figured it out. And if you don't think they're not literally out here trying to fucking destroy that and make it stop, you would be crazy, because that is exactly what they're doing. And as these girls are all jumping on this trend where I seen a video tonight where the girl was calling her mother a bitch, and I'm not going to keep letting this bitch disrespect me. Who the fuck she thinks she is? She going to learn there ain't going to be that shit over here. You ain't going to be talking to me like that. And I'm like, are you out of your motherfucking mind? I don't give a fuck how grown you are. You are never your fucking mother's equal. Your mother didn't come out of your canal. You came out of hers. You are not her fucking equal. Are you an adult? Yes. This is how this girl was talking. And it is that mindset where I said earlier, they are teaching you to hate yourself, to hate where you come from, to hate the women that make women that look like you, so that eventually there will be no women that look like you, and you won't have to worry about it, and no one else will, because you will become so desensitized to Black women and your relationship to them and your existence with them that it will eventually not even exist. And they know it. And with people, it don't take that long to make people disappear. I know a lot of us, when we get angry and we get heated and passionate on these apps, it's many people, it will never happen. If you got to understand, Black women are the beginning of all mankind. If Black women start disappearing off of the face of this earth, and I mean literally, if I leave and I didn't have kids, right? And I didn't have grandkids, I would be the last of the women in my family, period. Especially if my mother is about to die and my grandmother is gone. This is how these people in this country think. They sit down and they literally strategize destructive plans hundreds of years ahead. They actually come up with dates to have the strategy finished and to see the end result. They've already showed you how they think and how they work. Do you not remember in 2023 when they gave the prediction about Black people? By 2030, they said 50% of Black America would be 50% destitute. They have taken 1.1 million jobs away from people in this country. The majority of those people were Black women. Do you see how they're working towards their end goals? Do you not see that? They don't want you to be educated. Jobs are becoming scarce. They're taking away the funding and whatever it is you need to become an entrepreneur and actually employ multitudes of other people, right? This is happening. By 2050, they predicted that once they take away 50% by 2030, by 2050, they'll get the other 50 and all of us will be destitute, back to being vagabonds or vagrants like we were in right after the emancipation. This is not a game. Y'all have to stop thinking. You really just have to stop going along with everything white America pushes into society. Like an example of that is how people just easily fell for the freaking what do they call that shit? The how they named everybody, the Gen X and the Gen Z and the boomers and all these what do you call that? Oh my God. Not just labels, it's a particular word for it. When they created these terminologies, that's what it, for different decades of people, that is also a type of divide and conquer among people. Because when people willingly, voluntarily give into a type of thinking, a way of the way your mentality works, you automatically start thinking in this us versus them type shit. They know this. They have created psychology. They're using dark psychology on us every day. We are the biggest threat in this country because they realize whenever we are given any resources that make us equivalent to everybody else, we start excelling. We start going beyond expectations of the low expectations people have of us. So they got to find a way to chop your ass down every step of the way so you don't outdo them. So they said, okay, everything with them since the history of time and colonization, the only way they continue to win is divide and conquer. They must find a way to pull the people apart in different segments and fracture the people so that everybody's fighting each other or literally killing each other. And so when they came out with these terminologies of boomers, Gen Z, Gen X, this, that, everybody got their own little group, like a whole bunch of little gangs fighting and having beef with each other. When we need to stop readily accepting that shit and just go back to the way we used to be, as seeing people as people, and fuck all of those terminologies and age gaps or age decades they force us into. Stop doing that. Just say, yo, look, when I was 20 something, when I'm 30 something, I was 40 something. Call the age. Make the human developmental aging process a normal fucking thing, because it is something all of us go through. Make aging the normalcy that it is, and stop trying to make one group of people have a problem with another group of people and feel like they're a little bit better or worth more than the other group, because they're not. Everybody has been 20 something who's no longer 20 something. And the same thing goes for all the other people in between. And if they haven't done it, they're going to get there. So there's no need for you to differentiate between the 20 something, the 30 something, the 40 something. Point blank period. Either you're a child, a teenager, a young adult, or a fucking adult, or an elder. Period. And all of us go through the same lifespan if we live long enough. So there's no reason to be doing that shit. But because you want to do it, this is how they're able to come in with all of this other nonsense that further tears you apart, with the parent alienation, the no contact, because, oh, your stupid mother, who's a boomer or who's a Gen Zer, she couldn't even understand what you're going through, 20 something or 30 something, because The way her mind works is it's such a relic and so old. She couldn't possibly understand what you're talking about, even though she was your age first. Like, we gotta stop, seriously stop allowing these people to fuck with our heads like this and be so stupid as to not be able to see through the bullshit they're doing when it's obvious. Divide and conquer. Now, a lot of you, right, have always talked about the belief, whether you believe or not in the Willie Lynch letter, whether it's fiction or not. But let me tell you a letter that is real as fuck. And it's probably where they developed the whole story of the Willie Lynch letter. It is the King Leopold letter to the missionaries in Africa when he took over the Congo. Everything that they supposedly put in the Willie Lynch letter was really written in the King Leopold letter to the missionaries that when they were taking over Congo and then spread out all over the rest of Africa, into Asia and everywhere else. Real shit. So the whole premise of colonization is to always keep going the division and the conquer of the people continuously, always going. Because the way you control people is to make sure they never come together. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you need to understand this because they play on your brain every day through these fucking apps. Period. You need to understand that. And you need to stop letting them do that. Especially when it comes to mother and daughter relationships. Women are the most important fucking human being in this world. Without women, you don't have no more people. Period. And if you have young women thinking that they have no use for their mothers and that their mothers ain't shit as soon as they are able to fuck themselves and have a baby or two themselves, you are literally creating a race of people to not exist anymore. It's crazy how none of these women, these young women, realize that what you are doing to your parents is teaching your children to do the same fucking thing to you. Literally. And it doesn't take children but 10 years to be adults when they're like 9 and 10. Next thing you know, they're 18, 19, whatever. They grown too. So now all that nasty, foul shit they saw you do to their grandmother, they about to do the same shit to you. Okay, this is a fucking idiot. Let me read this. Elder Black women and mothers have been destroying family relationships. Not any therapists over here. They taught their sons to hate us as well. All right. You have got to be the dumbest bitch or nigga ever in existence. If you really fucking believe that Black families have not been psychologically affected by the white racist country they live in, the psychological effects of slavery, the poverty, the oppression, and all the fucking polymorphic experiences Black people have experienced in this country, you're a fucking asshole. And more than likely, you're a fucking bot because this is what AI is taught to do. Do y'all understand that? This is the type of fucking interference they run and pull in lives when people are trying to tell other people, wake the fuck up. Wake up. Okay? And the other thing they do, back to the mother demonization. In that whoever or thing or phantom's post, right? They're always trying to blame shit on Black women. Am I not literally talking about the demonization of the Black mother that America does only to Black women? Am I not talking about this right now? So what that was doing, whatever it was, whether it was real or AI generated or whatever the fuck it was, bot or whatever. It was literally doing what I'm talking about. How the fuck are black women solely and only responsible for every fucking thing that goes wrong with all the black people in this country? And specifically, only black women, men, and boys. We're always responsible for everybody, as if black people don't go out in this world every day and be affected by socialization, external factors, extenuating factors of society, and every fucking thing else. Mental health issues, physical attacks in the street, but black women are responsible for all of that, right? We're responsible for the system that keeps you impoverished, that keeps you dehumanized. We're responsible for that shit too, right? We're responsible for the madness and the white racism you experience every day, as do we. We're responsible for all that shit too, right? Y'all got to stop being stupid. And most importantly, you got to stop listening to other black women telling you to hate other black women. You really got to stop doing that. Nobody's telling you that you can't self-analyze or see a problem, recognize it, and go, I'm not dealing with that. I don't want no dealings with that, and do something different. That's called learned behavior. Okay? That's not their fault. They didn't create that shit. They're just a part of the shit that has always fucking been there. And it's funny how, again, it always comes back to only demonizing black mothers. We the only women in this country that are bad mothers. There are no other bad mothers, right? Whites, Asian, Hispanics, all them bitches is perfect, right? But we always the ones that got to be put up there for the display, just like on the fucking auction block of what a fucked up woman looks like. And you bitches are too fucking stupid to realize that. You are. And that's where maturity comes in at. So yes, you need to grow up mentally. You need to stop being a little child in a grown woman's body and fucking mentally mature. If you see black women being attacked 24 hours of the day, it should click in your dull fucking mind that there must be something else behind this shit than just them out of the blue sporadically ever since after COVID, and motherfuckers was already going through the effects of being isolated for so long and dealing with abuse and sexual violation and loss of independence and finances and etc. You don't understand that all that shit is compounded to make more of an issue, and it was deliberately done for you? You don't understand that? You don't understand how to destroy people, destroy them mentally, so that their behaviors and everything else and the way they think goes right along behind it? Y'all are always on here talking about shit like the art of war and 40 laws or whatever the fuck it is of power. That is part of the principles. You fuck up a person's mind, their fucking ass and their behavior is soon to follow. Okay? This is why I'm saying, like, y'all have to stop being stuck on stupid. And you got to start looking at shit through a different lens. And understand that all of this begins with division and conquer. And once you start looking at that through all the many fucking ways, dark psychology teaches you how, when you want to manipulate the population or masses of people, there are specific strategies you use. And no contact and parent alienation is right up there on the list of population control. You fuck with a person's mind, you don't have to worry about them because you know exactly the way they're going to fucking behave. You tell a young black girl, your mother is the worst bitch in the world. She's the reason why you black. How did they do it in The Color Purple? You black, you poor, you ugly, right? When you get a motherfucker to believe that shit, they act like that shit. And I get a bot or a real stupid bitch that comes in here and puts some dumb shit like that in my chat, which I don't think it was a real person. I think it was the AI. But there are people that still believe shit like that. Okay. And it's just crazy because you have history that teaches you that all these so-called COINTELPRO that all y'all like to talk about are real shit, real psychological manipulation tactics and strategies that are literally used in this country all the fucking time. You've seen it throughout the biography of Malcolm, Martin, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, everybody you could think of, every black person that stood up and said, black people, hey, get your shit together, follow me. It was done on them. You had whole governmental agencies put together, like what's his name? Howard Hoover. What's wrong with y'all? Why don't you think they're not still doing that kind of stuff in 2025? They are. As soon as they came out and everywhere you turn, the government was literally telling people, black women are the most educated women in America when it comes to getting degrees. They did it. That should have been the writing on the wall to let you know the bullshit is coming soon after. Because when has America ever gave black women accolades and gave a fuck about our progress in a positive manner? Never. Never. The only reason why they were doing the dog whistles about black women getting the most degrees than any other group in America and then segueing into fucking with people's egos by saying wrongfully, oh, they're the smartest group of people in the country. That's not what the report said. The report said we were the one group of people who had the most degrees in the country. But to make people go, fuck those bitches. Those bitches ain't shit. They this, that, and the other. Demonization of black motherhood again, right? Is what started and what came out of that. And what is that if not another example of divide and conquer? Y'all got to understand. Anyway, I just want to read something out of, and understand that for all of you that believe in therapy so hard, like it's your new Jesus Christ, your fucking Messiah, or your new religion that you can't get enough of that dick of, there's fucking racism in psychiatry too. So much so that they write fucking books about it. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to read this whole book to you. But when you come in and sit on the couch, they already think that you're not fucking human. And so they don't even waste their time teaching you the real techniques to better yourself. They just tell you any old fucking thing and you go on and believe it just to get rid of you and make it seem like, no, I didn't see their blackness. I just seen them as a regular patient and gave them some of the same techniques I would give anybody else. Bullshit. Because they know you're not the same as their white patients. They don't even see you that way. Which is why, if you knew, because there's so many books written on racism in psychiatry, you don't get the same amount of time of treatment. You don't get the same amount of care in the treatment. And they don't give a fuck if the treatment benefits you or not. All that is in these books. One piece I wanted to read to y'all. And the most important part is that when you go in there, they don't consider the fact that you got to deal with racism in this world. Oppression, discrimination, microaggression. They don't give a fuck about that because they feel like, oh, you're just black making that shit up. Nobody does anything to you. You just always want to be a victim. Okay? In the book, Racism and Psychiatry, written by Alexander Thomas, an MD, and Samuel Sullant, a PhD. All right? We will discuss a few things. When it comes to black people, right? Stress and conflict. White people look at it, these therapists y'all believe in so much like your new God, they see it as a part of your normal life. And the process of growth implies a clash between habitual ways of behaving and the need for new models of functioning. The consequences of stress are not necessarily destructive. Struggle against racism is stressful, no doubt, but it is also healthy, they feel. The attempt to eliminate stress or to adjust it, right, by yielding to racism. Do you hear what I'm saying? And accepting the role of inferiority is healthy. Do you hear this shit? Are you hearing this? The purpose of therapy is not adjustment for Blacks, but more effective functioning. And one aspect of such functioning is involvement in the struggle against social injustices that violate the integrity of one's existence. Just to let you know how they feel about you, really, okay? So that when you go out here believing that, let me get that lady who wrote that book. Where's that bitch at? Hold on. Where did I put that book? I had just had it. Oh, here you go. So this is one of the bitches that was on Oprah's special, right? This is Lindsay C. Gibson. She's the one that wrote the book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. That's funny how she doesn't speak about the emotionally immature adult children who are also parents. Funny, right? Okay. She talks about how to heal from distant, rejecting, or self-involved parents. Now, question. If you're a child, how the fuck do you know any of this? They got kitty psychology PhD classes around here I don't know about. Because you know they like to go back to your pubescent years to make it seem like you've been living through years and years of fucking torture when we know that's not true. Because if you really were, we got the police, we got ACS, we got all other social services that will come snatch them motherfuckers up out that house. Okay? So a lot of this shit is, and be real clear about what I'm about to say, a lot of this bullshit is a lot of projection of the racism and the personal fucking issues of the therapist or the psychiatrist you fucking sitting with. And if you did not know, a lot of these bitch-made motherfuckers, they got psychiatrists and therapists of their own because they're fucked up in the head. So how about that? So now you got the blind leading the motherfucking blind, and they're basically always telling you, hate your mother, hate that bitch. And if she's Black, hate that bitch the most. And you stupid motherfuckers can't figure that out? There are literally books written on it. The conspiracy to destroy Black women and Black motherhood. This is written by somebody named Michael Porter. I don't know when I got this book. Years ago. And the man was talking about the same thing I'm talking about right now. About how whenever you go to the doctor, the first thing they'll ask you is, tell me about your childhood. What the fuck does that have to do with you being an adult now? Your brain as a child works completely different as it does as an adult. Many of you know by now, because I've told you 1,000 times, when I was a little girl, I was literally raped by a grown man. The way I dealt with the incident, the memory, the feelings, the trauma, the everything of being raped as a little girl, I don't fucking feel that way, think that way, experience it that way, see it that way, or even fucking understand it that way today as a 50-something-year-old woman. I hope you're understanding what I'm portraying to you and what I'm trying to get across to you. The mind of a child is not the same as a mind of a fully functioning or trying to get their shit together adult. Two different fucking things. So why is it they always ask you, tell me about your childhood? Is it because demonization of mothers in America is a real fucking thing? And that because we live in a patriarchy, we know that the villain in the story is going to most often be either the mama or the primary care provider, who's often always a woman. Nana, big mama, grandma, whoever. Stepmama, whoever, auntie, big sister, somebody that's a woman older than you that they could go, that's the bitch that did it. Because that's all they want to do. Because remember the golden rule of patriarchy. The man must be protected at all costs. So the problem is always going to be her. And we got to find a way to make the problem her and only fucking her. Not even considering the fact that, listen, right? That when you live in a white supremacist society, right? Men, and especially white men, are controlling the money you make, where you work, the education you get, the social conditions you are subject to. Aren't those the politicians that make the laws, set the wage, hourly wage? They do all that shit, right? Isn't that what they do? But as far as these therapists and these white women who always want to see black women suffering are concerned, never mind all that. The way you function and live in the real world and how the real world affects your ass, don't pay that no never mind. Just worry about and think that everything bad that has ever happened to you, it's your mother's fault and she's the reason why that shit happened to you. And as long as you stick with that narrative, we cool, we right here, we right here, we right here, we right here. Are y'all crazy? Are you crazy? How do you not see the obvious? And with all of y'all who are so quick to come with the receipts and, oh, I got receipts. How did you not get receipts on the real racism, history of racism, creation and created off of racism that comes with psychiatry? How did you not see that? How did you not know about that? How did you not think about that when they're telling you, hate your mother? And you, black girl, and only you supposed to hate her the most, so that you going out here, and again, because of patriarchy, you going out there, and we need to protect the men. So we need you to be as stigmatized and as black male worshiping and black women hating and all this shit about boy moms and all this other ridiculous shit, to the point where you hate your own image. We need you to be like that. We need you to be that fucked up in the head. Get on out there and hate what the fuck you are, where you come from, and what you gonna be. Go ahead, dumbass. Go do it. Because that's the short-sightedness shit that gets me about these young black women. Are you not a black woman? Did you not come from a black woman? Do you not understand that society sees you the same fucking way they see me? Whether you 20, 2, 3, 94, 73, or 49. They don't give a fuck. Don't you understand that when you are a little black girl, a young black woman, or a black woman, you are not like everybody else. The white man in this country said when he first stamped you as first an indentured servant and then a slave, you're not a real woman. They have been saying that since the beginning of time. You see how these dumb black male fucks call you masculine? Do you know where they got that from? Slave master. You know why? Because black women You know, from the beginning when they first got here, and we was the black Indians, the copper people they spoke about, and then later became the colors and the Negroes and everything else, and that bullshit Jesse Jackson came up with the Native African American, and we were also classified as Native Americans too. We were the only women that were forced to do work equivalent to real men. And because we could fucking do it, we all of a sudden were no longer real women. We weren't real women. We were something else but women. Animal/women, but not real women. And this symbolism exists to this day. To this day. So think about all of this. Learn to do self-analyzation and understand that none of this shit they're pumping to y'all as black women is gonna help with your mind, your love of self. If you hate your mama, don't speak to your mama and can't stand the sight of your mother, the person who cared enough about you to bring you into this world and to take care of you until you could take care of yourself. And as in my daughter's situation, well, her ungrateful ass was there when even the nigga who impregnated her wasn't there. Okay? I was there. Whenever you hurt, I came fucking running. Whenever you was crying, I dried your fucking eyes. When you could not do for yourself, I did it for you. Literally. When she was recovering from a fucking surgery, I wiped her ass when she could not wipe her own ass. And yet, you think me, less than the shit underneath your shoes, to be so easily fucking dismissed because some white bitch with a title of therapist or psychiatrist tells you, your mother is the cause for all of your issues in life, my dear. If she would not be black, masculine, angry, and a disgusting, beastly black woman, you would not have all the problems you have, my dear. I'm so sorry you were born to that black, disgusting black woman thing. She's the reason you have been cursed or given the human stain in life to walk around with. And these silly, simple-minded, immature young black women are agreeing, accepting this, and not understanding that they are painting you with the same brush. And you are going home and reiterating that same black women hate to your black daughters, to your black sons, and everybody else in your household. And you just ain't figured it out yet. Ridiculous. Dumb fuck shit. And as y'all say, because you want to continue believing in all of their divide and conquer with their terminologies. Crazy work, right? Indeed. Y'all are just unbelievable. So now we need to talk about black women for a little while. So in my most favorite book in the whole damn world, Sister Citizen by Melissa Harris Perry, page 96, Stereotypes and Shame. You're going to be quiet and listen. I'm going to read the whole thing I want to read. Stereotypes and Shame. Geraldine is a 55-year-old black woman living on the west side of Chicago. During the exercise, in which focus group participants discuss myths and facts, she puts down her pencil and she sighs. Other people misunderstand us. They judge us. They don't understand that we go through so many different issues and trials. They don't get what makes us up into being a complex creature. And that's real. Black women are the most traumatized and abused in this country. And we have been since 1619. Okay? We have gone through the most polymorphic, horrific experiences any woman in the history of this country has ever experienced. But yet, we're given no credit, no merit, or no grace for any of the things we have undergone. We're looked at as, you supposed to just roll over and take that. Because you black, right? And you're a black woman. So you don't deserve any human civility. You don't deserve any of that. Because you're not human. You're a beast. And you're a beast that creates other beasts. We're misunderstood. Jezebel, Mammy. And how many black males have called black women Jezebels? Even though she was not a bad woman. She saved her whole fucking village, didn't she? Anyway, Jezebel, Mammy, Sapphire. You know they got to call us Sapphire now because we got ass and they don't. We have to have justification for a motherfucker wanting to fuck on us because our body ain't flat like theirs. Jezebel, Mammy, and Sapphire are the angles in the crooked room where black women live. They do not reflect black women's lived experience. Instead, they limit black women's prescribed roles that serve the interest of others. It's hard being misunderstood, misrecognized, subverted to possibilities of equal democratic participation. It is physically painful to hold an image of yourself while knowing that others hold a different, more negative image of you. At the turn of the 20th century, W.E.D. Du Bois, not Du Bois, Du Bois, named this painful duality double consciousness. Y'all remember the Souls of Black Folks by W.E.D. Du Bois, right? It is a particular sensation, this double consciousness, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of meaning one soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt. That's a definition for your ass and a phrase. Every motherfucker looks at you, the black woman, as it. But it is looked at with amused contempt. You know how they always want you to entertain them, engage them. You even have sometimes when I'll do a live on TikTok or YouTube, you'll have an ignorant motherfucker in the chat. Perform for me. Do a trick. Do a flip. Like I'm a circus animal. This is what Du Bois was talking about when he said they view you with amused contempt. And they look at you like that when they tell you your mother is the person who has created your lot in life. Even though you live inside of a system that literally hates your existence. But yeah, you go on and blame your mama for everything you done gone through and every decision that you done made that has not been beneficial to you. You keep black woman blaming that black woman that you came from, that you are, that you will be in the future. Because when we move her out the spot, we're going to put your ass right there next and look at you and do you the same way. Why don't you see that? Jesus Christ. Where was I up to? Always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. Du Bois did not anticipate how black women's experiences would further complicate this duality. But he did capture the political relevance of this psychic experience. See, Du Bois didn't know that amused contempt was going to trickle down to black males, black women's sons, and eventually black women's daughters, their most beloved treasure, our little mini-me's, would also, all of them, look at that black woman with the same pity, hatred, and amused contempt. And cost us our lives through black femicide. The abuse and destruction of our bodies by domestic violence. And on occasion, matricide from our beloved daughters. Alienation for a lifetime. And no contact just for being black and somebody's mama. For the most part. Because you know what's funny? It's funny how the real children of fucked up parents who abused them, sexualized them, sold them, damn near killed them, and did kill them. They're never on this motherfucking app talking about their parents. It's always the spoiled motherfuckers that was given a bit too much. Never really forced to do shit on their own. They're usually the motherfuckers on here complaining all the time. Like, I've never seen one of them come up here and talk about how they had to be rescued by ACS. They weighed about 16 pounds. They had a broken arm, 3 fractured ribs, and a skull fracture. You never see them on here. Never. You never see the ones where when they went into foster care and went back home with their parents, they were tied to the mattress and rented out every day until the police came back into the house. You never see them here. Those are real victims. What you see on here are the ones that think somebody's supposed to pay for their affection, pay for their, I don't know, their hurt ego or feeling for the day, or somebody who's supposed to grovel at their feet and beg to see their grandchildren. Those are the bitches you see on here. Not the ones that really need to be on here complaining about real transgressions against them. But the majority of them that really had parents that didn't give a fuck about them, they're well 6 feet under. Yeah. It's funny, y'all don't never talk about that. You talk about your feelings that some white woman told you you had to protect, that your black mom was disrespecting and violating your boundaries over. Yeah. Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all be putting up that fucking image of the clown all the time. Y'all are the biggest ass clowns to be taken by these fucking white women and these doctors who cannot stand your black ass and will tell you any fucking thing to cause rifts in your family, and you going along with it like goddamn fools, fucking yourself out of good relationships with your mamas, money that she could leave you upon death, the fucking knowledge that she has to pass on to you that your simple ass does not possess at this particular moment in time, when you are 20-something, 30-something, even 40-something years younger than her. You got a hell of a ways to go to get all the shit she's got up there that you have not learned yet. And you got the nerve to let some outside people turn you against the most sacred relationship in the history of blackness, the mother and child. You let a white person come in between that. You really do need medication. What was I up to? God damn it. Dubois did not. Okay, I did that. Okay. Lustly availability violates the expectations of the chaste Victorian era. Fuck the Victorian era. But it serves the interest of slavery. Competent independence challenges the ideal that adult women should rely on their husband's judgment, but it allows policymakers to define Black families as defiant. I'm going to read that again, besides the shit about Victorianism. Let this shit sink in. Understand what they're saying. Understand what they're telling you about the backdrop of patriarchy. And the first rule of patriarchy: protect men at all costs, blame women at all costs, right? Competent independence challenges the ideal that adult women should rely on their husband's judgment, but it allows policymakers to define Black families / Black women as deviant, defiant. Welfare dependence violates the ideal that Americans should be self-reliant, but it provides an easy scapegoat for national dilemmas. Do we not see that now? Did we not see, like a month ago, when they stopped giving out the welfare food stamps to everybody, when the statistics show that white women are the number one, and then the Hispanics from South America are second, the Somalis and people like that are third, and Black American women were like the 9th on the list out of 10. They still trying to push this false claim and stereotype of the welfare queen created by Ronald Reagan, with the one lady he arrested in the 1970s who was defrauding the system by collecting checks of mostly veterans who was getting SSI from public assistance. Not welfare, not food stamps or Medicaid, but the SSI that you get from welfare when you're a veteran. See, all that type of real small detail shit, they leave out. But if you ever read the article on her, you'll see what she was doing. She was cashing the veterans' checks from social services who had passed away because she had like a rooming house that they were living in. She had several rooming houses, right? And they were living there. And she was helping them because they were elderly, but stealing their money. How the fuck is that the same as a woman with children living off of welfare, feeding her family with the little bit of money they give them? How is that the same? That's nowhere near the fucking same. But it provides an easy scapegoat for national dilemmas. Mammy-like devotion, when you over here listening to white therapists and white women talk to you about protecting your peace. Go in no contact with your mama. And parent alienation is what Black women should do. It is a great thing to teach your children. Mammy-like devotion to white domesticity reinforces safe norms, but it elicits pandering pity rather than egalitarian respect. That's some real shit for your ass. Although none of these stereotypes captures the complexity of Black women's lives, they have been powerfully and regularly reproduced in American political discourse and popular culture since the Civil War. These myths influence how Black women see themselves and how they understand their struggle. Most important, these myths make Black women feel ashamed. They do. And shame has sweeping consequences for Black women's lives and politics. We see that right now today, right? When they stopped the food stamps and didn't give them out until they had to go to court and everything, and you had Black males coming on here making videos about Black women selling pussy for $40 and oh, now these bitches is going to have to do this and be nice to me and let me fuck on them every type of way just because they ain't got shit. That's what they're talking about in that book. When black women, young black women, not stop because they never start. When they refuse to listen to older black women tell them, you're young, stop focusing on boys, don't have sex, go to college, get an education, get a career, get your money and your education set up and your livelihood started before you start worrying about sex, marriage, having children, being with a man in a very intimate way. They don't listen, right? And there's a consequence of that. Now you suffer poverty, struggle love, unwanted children you can't afford, violence that comes from that dude that you're fucking, beating your ass, killing you from time to time. Black femicide is real. It is very real. And it is very much increasing in 2025. This is what this book is talking about. But these are the things y'all don't want to address or accept because you don't get the ability to point the finger at black women and go, oh, it's because of you being my mother that my life is so hard. It's because of you, this grown ass black male who has lived his own experiences in life in America has decided that he too hates black women and wants to make everything in his life that has gone wrong for him the responsibility of a black woman. And so therefore you still being a black woman, even though you think you're not your mother and you're not the same as your mother, is why he beats your ass, cheats on you, and treats you like shit. But you know, you don't like black women and you hate your mother, so this is the shit that's going to continue to happen. What you say? You know, that's very interesting you say that, because I'm going to tell you. Now, let me pause what I'm saying for a minute to put this lady's, let me put this up. So now this woman is saying something that is really true. She said, it makes me wonder what is in Sergeant Willie Pete's book, The Black Matriarchy, right? Now, I don't know how many of you people know who this motherfucker is. Thank you for bringing him up, ma'am. This is a piece of shit that used to be on YouTube and all this stuff years ago. I don't know how many of you heard of Asia McGowan. She was a very beautiful little young freshman college student who actually was a creator at one time on YouTube, right? She went to a school, I forget the school now. And she was popular, very pretty girl, you know, petite, cute little woman, right? You little young lady. Because I don't even think she was 21 yet. I don't remember her age. If you remember her age, ma'am, you can let me know. She was in class with a fucking black maniac who listened to this very man. Yes. She was in class with a maniac who followed this maniac, Sergeant Willie Pete, who came on YouTube every day talking horribly about black women. You know how they do? And how they were doing before the FBI came on here and started telling them that they were domestic terrorists. And if they didn't cut that shit out, that they was going to grab their asses up off here. He was on here every day, like a lot of them were doing. Oh, the black women ain't shit. They ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Promiscuous bitches. Suck my dick. This is how they was talking, right? All day, every day. Kill a black woman, choke that bitch, kill her daughter. This is how they was talking every day, all day. This young little woman, Asia McGowan, she was in class one day, and because of this man, Sergeant Willie Pete, and he went to jail for it, y'all. This incel black dude in her class shot this girl point blank range in her motherfucking head because he sat here listening to deranged black motherfucking dudes that need not be on these internet platforms creating hate speech towards black women. Well, they arrested him. They went back through all of his videos and they put him in jail. They didn't put him in jail long enough because he's out. And I think he's back on YouTube. I'm not sure. I didn't look him up. But I know he's out of jail because I kept up with the story. And he's been out of jail for a little time now. But this is the shit that happens when you all let society and white America brainwash you against what you literally are. When you women are on here and you are overly, like Cynthia says, overly male identified and you black male worshiping, doing that shit all day, where you just being out here as crazy as you want to be for a black man, talking all this craziness about black women. When you are a black woman, you don't realize that all those maniacs, like in the case of Asia McGowan and this particular man, Sergeant Willie Pete, they're fucking lurking in society, circling you like a shark would circle your ass in the ocean. And you're too stupid to realize it. Because again, you want to play into all the myths that are written about us in Sister Citizen and how the proliferation of the dehumanization of black women continues to exist in America. And now they just making it more, appetizing and easy to, to accept by telling you that instead of calling her names and shit like that and telling people to kill her, just say the bitch don't need to be associated with. Tell the daughters to isolate themselves from her and teach their kids to do the same thing so the cycle continues. Tell them to go no contact, alienate your parents. Tell them to do that because she's not worth anything anyway. And what you don't realize is, are you not black too? Are you not a woman? Are you not going to be the same age your mother is? And are you not going to most definitely suffer the same nasty karma that you giving your mama right now? Your kids are going to grow up and do the same fucked up shit to you, if not worse. And you too stupid to realize it. Because you want to hurt somebody. And instead of hurting what you need to, which is bad habits and centering men, those are the things you should hurt. You hurt your mama instead. You hurt yourself by killing the relationship with your mama and not understanding that these people are setting you up for long-term failure as a people, as a person. They're doing it on purpose. They already predicted by 2030 in Forbes magazine, 50% of black Americans will be destitute. By 2050, 100% of black Americans will be destitute. And if you keep alienating your mamas and going no contact, it will come true. Because the property your mama might own, the house she might own, whatever she has, the life insurance policies, the 401k, whatever the fuck she got, the investments she might have, everything that she would have passed on to you so you could have had some prosperity, or what y'all like to throw around these days as trend, generational wealth. You fucking yourself out of it by listening to Becky and Todd tell you that your black mama not good enough no more. She supposed to be in the field while you go in the house. Y'all are ridiculous. You're so immature, it's crazy. And when black women are honestly trying to tell you, because I've been making videos talking to you nicely, now I don't give a fuck. You're dumb and you're not realizing that it is divide and conquer. Wake the fuck up. I'm sorry, my dear. Whatever you said. You said he's back, man. I bet he is making videos now. He's written this book. Yeah, he went to jail. They threw his ass in jail. He didn't think he was going to get in trouble, but they got his ass. They got him for that girl's murder. Yes, they did. He said, she said, I'll get the book. I'll get this book. She's gonna get this book I'm reading. Oh yeah, I will tell you. This is called Sister Citizen. This is written by Melissa Harris Perry. She used to be on CNN. She was one of the correspondents before they fired her because she was too black for them. This is Sister Citizen. This is a soft cover. I also have it in hardcover as well. I'm gonna try to do what you asked. Let me try to Google and see if I can get you something to put on the screen. Give me 1 minute, okay? I got it. I think they might have it on Amazon too. I believe so. Hold on, let me share it with you so you can see it. Look on Amazon too. I just clicked on the first one that popped up, but try Amazon. All right, so this is it right here. It's Sister Citizen. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it better. Hold on. Sister Citizen by Melissa Harris Perry. I got mine from Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can too. All right. Yeah, they just, man, this alienation shit, you're welcome. It's just getting ridiculous because the worst part about having a daughter that does this as a mom is not just the fact that they're really fucking hurting your feelings, because you love your kids. I know I love mine. And when they do shit like this, it is like the ultimate slap in the face. But it's not the type of hurt and pain they probably want you to experience. It's like the worst level of betrayal. It's like having a fucking Benedict Arnold or Judas Priest as your child. It's like you're looking at them like, you fucking do that to me of all fucking people? Me of all people. You do it to me. The one who was there whenever you cried and when you needed me, I fucking ran and came through hell and high water. You do that shit to me? To me. Not even to motherfuckers who wrong you, but to me. Wow. That's how you feel. That's how I feel. And it makes you angry. It makes you want to fuck them up. But if you fuck them up, now some of the shit they say about you is true. So you got to hold all that anger and shit inside and just be looking at them like, you know what, motherfucker? The thing that makes me happy is that all that wicked shit you doing, talking shit to your kids about me, teaching your kids to hate me and all that shit, you teaching them motherfuckers to do the same thing to you when they get old enough to do it. And what they don't understand is those same kids that they are poisoning against the grandparents, because believe me, right? When this first happened to me, I didn't understand it was like a trend and it was being pushed by therapists and psychiatrists specifically to Black women, right? They don't do it to the boys. They do it to the women only. And the reason they do it to the women only is because in the Black community, we are the breadwinners. So if you fuck up the family, you don't have to worry about people passing on money or being as successful as they are when they're together. And this is what these girls don't understand. This shit is being strategically done to mess up Black women for the future. Because first off, when I was reading all this stuff through her book, and she talks about patriarchy and how the first rule, protect men, they have never liked Black women because Black women have never been these weak, mousy bitches that are running around, oh, I'm a damsel in distress. That we wasn't doing that. We had a fucking plow attached to our back. We had to go out in the field 9 months pregnant. And we've always lived like that in America. They made fucking laws where you couldn't sit at home and be taken care of by your husband. You had to go to fucking work or go to jail. They did that shit in America and Canada. So it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? How are we the bad guy when we're just able to survive every horrible fucking thing you put into place to crush us as human beings? we're the bad guy now. And now you successfully brainwashed our daughters into thinking that we should be hated for being the resilient fucking people that we are. That's the shit I can't get. And how quick these fucking girls turn on us, it just blows my mind. And it just makes me want to slap the shit out of every one of them, you know? It just is heart-wrenching that they disrespect their mothers like that. And only their mamas. Always only the mothers. Because this is the legacy of America, to demonize black womanhood. And then you have these asshole fucking black dudes coming on here confirming and verifying stereotype and image shaming and black women blaming every fucking day. And it's like these young girls don't even see, like, do you see the desensitization of you for you? Like, you're a black woman too. And you hating your mother does not make you look good to the rest of the fucking world. People with sense look at you like, well, America and white people hate black people on a whole. They make policies and laws to fuck you up every chance they get. And now you hating on yourself and hating on your mama on top of that? What fucking sense does that make? That is how people who are not black look at that shit. And they're so dumb, they confidently come on these apps and talk about, I seen a girl today come on here. I spoke about this earlier in the live. She came on here calling her mother all types of bitches. And, oh, this bitch ain't gonna talk to me like this. She gonna fucking respect me. And I'm watching the video and I'm saying, does this fucking knucklehead understand that all the world that is not black is looking at her going, because you know everybody's religious, damn near 99% of the world going, she don't know because she black and ignorant and animalistic. You honor thy mother and father so your days upon this earth can be longer and blessed. This is how people are looking at our kids. And they're not smart enough to get it because they so caught up in white people's terminologies and divisions and fracturing and divide and conquer of Gen Z, Gen X, boomers, this, that, and the other, when you need to throw all that shit out the window and just go, nah, fuck that, man. I'm not going to let you disrespect my mother. My mother worked hard to take care of me. I saw my mother get her ass beat down to the ground just to make sure we could keep a roof over our head and we got to eat that week. They don't talk like that. All they do is talk about all the negative shit that society talks about. I've not seen one young black woman on this motherfucker talk about anything positive about her mama. If they've done it, I haven't seen it. I've never seen one of them say, thank you, Mom, for working and going through all the shit you did with that piece of shit father of mine, or that abusive stepfather, or your father, or whoever. And you still, after being beat damn near to death, sexually violated, fucked up on a regular basis, you still got up every day and had the mental fortitude to say, if I can't save myself, I'm going to save my fucking children. And I'm going to still keep working towards that degree, that new job, that promotion, that apartment of our own. They don't say thank you for a motherfucking thing. All they do is talk shit like they're entitled to something. I can't with them. That's why now when I do stitches, I see they shit, I talk as reckless as I want to, because I'm like, fuck all of them. Because you only think you the shit now because you 20 something or you less than 40 years old and people telling you look good. And you may look good, but you ain't going to forever look good. And then you're going to get the same fucking disrespect that you giving out. And you're going to see what it's like to be an older black woman who's sitting here telling a dumb motherfucker like you, don't do that shit. Don't fuck up your relationships with people that can fucking support you when you need them. And they don't think critically. They don't think critically at all, y'all. Right now, they got black women losing their jobs every day. There's 1.1 million people that have lost their jobs in this country, with black women being like 90% of the people. And more than that, jobs taken out of the job market. Companies that are never going to come back again. So if they got a little bullshit job now, they hanging on to that shit by a thread. And instead of them realizing that the way black people, black women have survived throughout all the shit in this country was by family and the strength of family. So that when a daughter would go out into this world, have her own house, apartment, her own kids, even her fucking husband, and they lost everything, they could pack everybody up in the car and still go to fuck home and start all over again, regroup, get the pat on the back, get the supportive hugs, the supportive talks, the pep talks, and get back out in life and start all over again, sometimes do better than before or get back to where they were. Even my own parents had to do that. This is why I say these women are dumb, because my father was in Vietnam. He was a young boy, teenage boy, when they sent him over there to kill people he'd never seen before in his life, right? When he came back to America, he strung out on heroin because killing people, seeing people killed, seeing people blown up every day was too much for his mind. He lost it, right? He's hooked on heroin. He comes back, the brownstone that my grandparents on both sides put in for to buy my parents, to put all of me and my siblings and them in so we could live, he started fucking up on the payments. The damn building slipped into almost foreclosure, right? The grandparents came through again. They paid all the back taxes. They got all the shit back up to where it needed to be. They put his ass in the fucking detox. They put her ass in the detox because my father got my mother hooked on drugs. And this is what black families do. They take care of each other. And the same way that white man who wrote that whole fucking Project 2025 did his thesis on studying the strength of the black family and how black people and their connection to family is their superpower, their resilience to every fucking crisis we've gone through in this country and survived it, is because we had Big Mama and them to fall back on. They sat there and said, look at these bitches and let me see what we could do to tear them away from each other, because they just doing too many things that is navigating around the obstacles we putting in their way. What can we come up with? Parent alienation and no contact. That'll get those bitches where they live. And ain't that what they doing? Ain't that what they doing, y'all? It's ridiculous. Even me, when I first got married and had my first child, I left New York City, went all the way with my husband to Oregon. We got out there. He had a job for about 6-7 months. The white people were real fucking racist out there. They took the job from him. They kicked us out of our house we was renting. You know what we said? Fuck you and your job and your fucking bullshit, rent the house. We packed our motherfucking Volkswagen. We sent our shit ahead. Got sold the rest of the shit because we knew we wasn't coming back. And guess where we went? We went right back to my father's house and lived in that motherfucker. And when we got ourselves back together, where we had a little money and shit, we got out that motherfucker, and my family rented that apartment out, and we went into our own shit. That's what family does in the black community. But when you got parent alienation and no contact, where you gonna go when you fall down on your luck and you got nobody to put you up for a few months, nobody to send you a few $100s or give you whatever the fuck it is you need, because every black family is different, to get you back on your feet so you could get back to where you were? This is what they studied about us. And this is what they learned, is how to destroy us. And now you got all these simple-minded little 20-somethings and ridiculous 30-somethings on here talking about, fuck my mother. I don't talk to that bitch. I don't need to talk to her. Fuck her. Fuck her for the rest of my life. Being stupid as fuck. Stupid as fuck. But this is what they're doing to us. And we, because we're so addicted to the internet, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, don't realize that this stupid shit right here is dumbing us down so much that we losing grip on reality and the community that we fucking belong to. And when I say community, I am talking strictly about black mothers and daughters. I ain't talking about no bullshit ass nuclear family and no fantasy of some old motherfucker fucking on some young girl that all these niggas talk about all day. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mothers and daughters being the way I was raised. If I had a problem with my mother, I went to my grandmother to fix it. Period. That's the shit I'm talking about. And that's what they don't know nothing about, because they too busy trying to be their mama's mama instead of the daughter who's trying to find a way to deal with the problem she's having with her mama. What the fuck they think? They think they the only motherfuckers that got a problem with their mother? Shit, I had my mother slap the shit out of me, and I'm grown, married with kids, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. I went to my grandmother. I said, she slapped the shit out of me. She fucking, and I didn't have to do nothing. My grandmother got up and handled her motherfucking daughter. That's the way shit's supposed to be done. Chain of motherfucking command, y'all. Not you jumping over the fucking king talking about, I'm the man now. What are y'all doing? You fucking up everything, and you don't realize that further on down the line, you're going to suffer. And believe me when I tell you, you're going to suffer in the way that you're going to lose your history as black people. You're going to lose as black women. You're going to lose your family, the structure of your family, the support that has always been there since the beginning of time for black women to black women. You're going to lose that. And you're going to lose all the support and anything selfishly you could inherit from that woman. You're going to forfeit all of that. And you ain't got shit to give or to give to your own kids. That's why y'all on here angrier than a motherfucker half the time. Because you already struggling and suffering and living with the fact that, damn, my mother was right. And you got a problem with that. But all that shit can be remedied. But it don't get remedied by listening to white therapists and white bitches and white niggas telling you alienate your parents and go no contact. That's the way those motherfuckers do shit. We don't get down like that. They have always been the motherfuckers throwing away their parents or anybody when they get old. Look at how they behave. As soon as their parents get old, off to the fucking old age home for you, bitch. Get out of here. That's what they do. These old ass white men, as soon as their wife start looking like a fucking wrinkled leather couch, they go get a young bitch to take her place. Somebody with less wrinkles. But by the time they're 35, they all look the fucking same. They all got 1,000 fucking wrinkles. Face look like all fucked up. And now black people trying to mimic their fucking dysfunction. Young black women, you better wake up. You better wake up and realize that they are literally programming you for your own destruction. I'm about to show you that even when you ask ChatGPT or Google Gemini, you know, what's the fucked up part about going no contact or alienating your parents? It still tries to brainwash you into thinking that you're doing the right thing. So you cannot trust the AI that these white people have programmed, because they done programmed the patriarchy in it. They programmed the racism in it, the sexism, the gender, everything. They programmed all that shit into it. And I'm going to show you right now. Because I was curious. But yeah, what I thought was true. Hold on now. Let me show you. Look here. I asked Google Gemini, I asked 2 questions, right? Hopefully they're still there. I said, what would be the long-term effect of mothers and daughters going no contact in the Black family? Look what it said. It said, in the Black family, the decision for a mother and daughter to go no contact is often a profound and heavy one. It sits at the intersection of deep-seated cultural traditions, generational survival strategies, and a modern shift towards mental health and boundary setting. While the effects is often a peaceful silence, the long-term impact on the family structure is complex and multifaceted. Then it says, 1, the disruption of the strong Black woman narrative. For generations, Black women have been socialized under the strong Black woman archetype, which emphasizes resilience, silence in the face of pain, and unwavering family loyalty. Now, before I go on, I want to say one thing about this trope, right? There's really nothing wrong with being a strong Black woman as long as you're being a strong Black woman for yourself and yourself only. I'm not talking about putting a fucking S on your chest and a cape on your neck and running around for everybody. But when you are a strong Black woman that's not going to let no nigga beat on you, you're going to protect your children, you're going to go to school, get your education, make your money so you can depend on yourself and only yourself. You taking care of your own health, welfare, and everything else. That's, in my opinion, nothing wrong with being a strong Black woman. But when you out here trying to be a strong Black mule and a beast of burden, that's a different motherfucking story, okay? Let me continue with this. The shift, going no contact, is often a direct rejection of this narrative. It signals a move from survival at all costs to emotional safety as a priority. That is bullshit. There are no fucking Black women collectively out here living from survival at all costs to emotional safety as a priority. That is racial bullshit right there. Long-term result. While this can lead to personal healing for the daughter, it often creates a cultural crisis within the family. Older generations may view the cutoff as a betrayal. We definitely do. Of the sacrifices they made to keep the family together during eras of systematic oppression. And that is very true. Like I was telling my daughter, right? When we were talking, let me come out of this for a minute, y'all, because this is heartfelt. I was telling my own daughter, now mind you, right? I'm born in the 60s. So when I went to college was free. And then it shortly turned into cheap tuition and then crazy tuition by the 90s. But when I first went to college in the 1980s, it was free. Okay? And we had just got Black University Studies because I went to York College in Queens. All right. As time went on, colleges got more expensive. Programs became more expensive, right? When it was her turn to go to college, nobody ever took me or told me about college tours, walk-on auditions, none of that. For her and my other children who were of college age at the time, I learned everything I could about making sure they got opportunities that I was not given or I didn't know about, because during my time of being a teenager into becoming a young adult, it was 2 different realities. I didn't have to worry about the cost of college the way she did, right? Okay. I put them on planes and we flew, literally. Me, the little Black woman, single parent, right? I had got divorced from their fathers, so their fathers are not here, but they're not out the picture. But when I was paying for them plane tickets and them Mac computers and everything else they needed, daddy was not helping the way he should, okay? So we flying from New York to Miami. We flying from New York to wherever else the school is at. We go, I even took them since we was in Florida. They was interested in the Florida schools. We even stopped and saw a Daytona race event, right? I was doing everything to make them kids happy. This is the type of shit you do when you care about your children as a Black mother. My mother and father had never taken me to college and said, hey, Stephanie, this is a college. You didn't really have to apply for this place. You could literally walk into the college, go into the financial aid office and deal with the bursars and find out if you qualify to go to the school. Nobody ever did that for me. They didn't have to do that for me because tuition wasn't the same money when I went to college versus my child. So I went out of my way to find all this stuff out and be prepared for the time she got ready to go to college. Do you know how much work that was for me as a Black woman? To be married, work full time, be going to college, take care of children, get divorces, get married again, have more children, continue to work, go back to school. Do you know how exhausting it was for me to do that? Very. And these are the daughters of all that hard work and sacrifice that are mostly on here making videos talking about how they had to alienate and go no contact with their mothers who were literally working for them. Like if it was just up to me and for me, I already been to school. I don't have to work that hard to pay for college. I already finished college. But it wasn't for me. It was for them. And these are the things moms do they don't appreciate. I'll tell you another thing. My children were the only children in my community who had babysitters en pairs. I don't know if y'all know what en pairs are, but they're like nannies that I paid a domestic agency to walk my children to school. Stay with them in the house. One person would walk them to school, bring to school, from school. Another person would be here to come inside the apartment because we had to get an apartment after I left the husband's, right? Into the apartment, be with them, cook for them, watch them, care for them until I came home. That lady went home, and then another lady came to take care and watch the kids so I could go to sleep. Because even though I was home, I was so tired from working the overnight shift and having to work another job. I couldn't take care of my own kids because I was so fucking tired. So I had to pay people 24 hours a fucking day to be with my kids when I was there and wasn't there, just so they could be taken care of and I could get the rest I needed to get the fuck up and go to work. This is the shit Black mothers go through that nobody gives the credit and the respect to, because we're looked at as, oh, that's what the fuck you're supposed to do. No, it's the fuck not. No, it's the fuck not. And these are the ones on here making videos about their mamas that cared about them so much that they worked literally to the fucking bone for them. It's so true. It is really so true. Let me tell y'all, oh my God, the things I would do for those kids, you have no idea. Both their fathers were paying child support. These kids would go to the toy store every fucking Friday like clockwork and spend hundreds of dollars on bullshit. Okay? When Soul Circus, I don't know if you guys remember Soul Circus, right? Soul Circus used to be a big thing in New York City. I took those kids to the Soul Circus in every fucking borough, every year it came out, just because it was something Black that was new to New York City and we couldn't get enough of it. I took neighbors' kids with me. I took everybody, all this type of stuff all the time. They had horseback riding lessons, swimming lessons, tennis. They was on the basketball team, the track team, the football team. That shit cost money. But you know, when you're a black mother, you never do enough. They went to kiddie college on Saturdays to prepare them for the AP courses in school. You can never do enough for kids. You can never do enough. When they were in school, when I was in college, not college, high school, my school used to offer us driving lessons to get our junior license. In New York City, like 1986 or 89, they cut all those programs out. So when these dudes were in high school, they were taking driving lessons. They got their license. They all had their licenses before 18. That shit costs money. All of this is shit parents do. But as a black woman parent, when you don't have a husband that's doing the right thing by you, that's extra work for you that nobody's caring about how much you're caring about them to get it done. Is it my obligation? You motherfucking right. But do I still have to work hard to get it done? You definitely fucking right. And I want you to recognize the sweat on my fucking brow that I create when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for you, because I deserve that recognition. That's what I'm saying. They don't respect shit. They don't respect that. They don't respect it. And they don't even see that they're causing the problems. Because you could be mad with me all you want. You're still supposed to be able to say, listen, I want to sit down and talk to you about some things I don't like. And you and me need to talk about how we're going to deal with those things. You don't just get up and fucking leave, take the kids and go off and rip your kids up from living in a wonderful place like New York City to some fuck area in Texas. What kind of shit is that? The kids didn't even want to fucking go. How do you take children that come from a city like New York and take them to a fucking place like Texas? You don't acclimate to no shit like that from New York. But this is the shit these girls do because they don't give a fuck about what they do and what's affecting their children. Their end goal is, oh, I want to hurt my mother. That's all I give a fuck about is I want to hurt her. Grow up. I'm coming to read your comment. Oh my God. She said, my mom has passed away, but my sister and I are trying to break those curses. Thank you for this instruction. I got a job to keep this from happening between me. You have to. Let me tell you something. I don't come on here talking because I think I'm better than everybody or just talking shit. My childhood was not great. I'm going to honestly tell you. But did I have parents that cared about me? Yes. But they were dysfunctional. But I love my fucking parents, whether they were dysfunctional or not. You know why? Let me tell y'all why, then I'll get back to this bullshit chat GBT. I cared about my parents because I seen my parents lose their mind when my brother broke his leg. I seen them stay up all night when I had a stomach virus, and they take turns cleaning me up. And I used to pee the bed because I was nervous. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I used to piss the bed, right? My parents never beat my ass for that. They never choked me out for that. They cleaned it patiently. They talked to me. And I'm talking about stone cold motherfucking junkies, y'all. 2 junkies I had for parents. Okay? My father suffered from all types of, what do you call that shit? My grandfather used to call it shell shock. But now they call it some other fancy shit. Give me a minute. Postpartum depression, right? He would hear shit in the street and it would give him a flashback from Vietnam. He would lose his mind, fucking go completely insane, running outside with guns and shit, climbing up fucking trees, harassing the neighbors, getting arrested, getting beat down by the police. I seen all of this as a kid. I never blamed my parents for none of that shit. As I grew, I understood this is traumatic shit that some black people experience. And it has nothing to do with the black people. It has to do with the shit in life they have had to deal with and how they find the strength to get through that bullshit. For those of you that don't know me, after my father died from catching AIDS, from being an intravenous drug user, from using heroin, and suffering from all types of fucking psychosis from killing and seeing killing in Vietnam, he died early. When he died, my mother didn't stop dating black men. Black men, and this is why you black women need to listen when we older black women tell you stay away from these motherfuckers, right? They prey on broken black women and children. These men that she started dating after my father died, they only dated my mother because she had 3 little girls in her house and 3 little boys. They wanted to fuck on her children. Do you know what they did? They roofied my mother's drink. My mother fell asleep and did not wake up for a whole fucking day and a half. Do you know what her boyfriend did? He raped me and began raping my sister until the neighbor heard all the screaming and the commotion in the house, called the cops. And the only thing that stopped and saved my sister was the fact that the police were trying to break the fucking door down because all the kids was screaming so much. This is what black mothers and daughters live through. I don't hold hatred for my mother for that. My mother had nothing to fucking do with that. My mother is not a mind reader. She was not able to read this fucking pedophile's mind who saw my mother and saw the 6 children behind her and say, oh, I see, I'm going to get this bitch. This bitch has all the kids I like. Got them pretty little black girls with all that curly black hair. I like that. I like them little boys with all that curly soft hair too. Those type of dudes are attracted to women with children. My mother didn't know nothing about it. She's not thinking like that. She's still a fucking heroin addict because of what happened with her husband and all of the fucking traumatic experiences she got to deal with. Okay? What she said? Hold on, let me read this. And if it's some bullshit, I'm kicking you the fuck out. Hold on. Okay, yeah, you're right, Sonia. Hold on a minute. All right. So after all that shit, right? I don't blame my mother for that shit. Number one, she don't read minds. She don't know that this man's intention was not to come there and love her and do right by her. His intention was to come there and fuck her children. How does she know that? She does not. Then on top of that, he fucking knocks her out by putting shit in her drink to make sure she can't get in her way. She can't get in his way. So these are all the things that when these simple-minded young girls are on here making these videos, they're not thinking about the shit their mamas went through, like me, and their mamas been through as black women being attacked by black men in our communities. You know, I don't want to add more shit to the game, but my mother was also attacked in the 50s when she was a young girl. When my mother was a young girl, segregation was alive and well. All right? They lived in Harlem. They had just come to Harlem from Louisiana. My mother is a fair-skinned black woman with funny eyes and curly hair. Her mama is a mulatto. Her daddy is what y'all call an octoroon. Okay? She went to school one day and went fucking missing for 3 fucking days. I've told this story before. 3 black dudes in the community took her into an abandoned building and raped her for 3 days straight. Beat her and traumatized her. These are the things that black women and their mamas have in their history as little girls that nobody stops to think about or humanize them for in learning to overcome tragedy that comes with the blackness of being a black woman stigmatized by being a Hottentotten, or what did they call us in that book? The Jezebel, the Sapphire, the Sweet Thing, whatever you want to call it. This is the consequence of patriarchy, male domination, Black women hatred, Black women stereotyping, and the conditions of ignorant niggas around pretty young girls, old ass lecherous niggas grooming, lusting, raping, and taking advantage of young girls who cannot fight back against grown ass men. And remember the history of America. Most of our mothers and grandmothers were victims of human trafficking right here in America. Their parents sold them into marriage after they were literally raped by their boyfriends, who were sometimes 10, 15, 20 years old, their fucking senior. We all heard the stories of our grandmothers being 12, 14, 16, 15, married to a 20-year-old, 30-some-year-old nigga that had no business being with that little girl. And if you don't think living life and dealing with the physical abuse and sexual violation of shit like that does not take a mental toll on Black women when they raise their daughters, raise their sons, or even try to function in this motherfucking world as a human being, you're fucking crazy. White bitches would have lost their mind for less than that shit. Okay? So let's put some fucking respect on Black mothers' names and the fucking horrors they have survived in life. Because it makes us who we are. I'm a very hard motherfucker these days. But if you understood all the shit I have been through from being a little girl, that shit started when I was 12 fucking years old. I wasn't even given the grace to become 18. Nigga got me before I even got there. Okay? I'm not the only one. I'm one of thousands of Black women who share the same motherfucking story. And then there are Black women whose daddies do that shit to them. They granddaddies, they cousins, they uncles, they brothers. And you expect the women that suffer these fucking violations to be normal and loving and nurturing and caring and in their right motherfucking mind. And y'all know this shit happens. You know it happens. They make movies about this shit every day. When you read autobiographies of people, you read about it every day. Maya Angelou, she know why the caged bird sings? Because she was getting raped every day by her fucking stepfather in her mama's house. Oprah Winfrey. Every Black woman has some crazy fucking story like this. But yet we the fucking monsters? No, baby. We are the motherfucking victims who decided to survive. And now we got our daughters on the internet making it seem like we get up every morning just to fucking hate our daughters for fun. That is not what we do and who we are. That is not who we are. And to show you how fucking callous and how they don't give a fuck, my daughter knows these stories about me and her grandmother. She don't give a fuck. We ain't shit to her. And that's what I'm telling y'all is the fucking problem with this no contact alienation shit. It makes Black women and daughters desensitize themselves towards each other to they don't give a fuck about what happens to each other in any way. And that's a recipe for fucking disaster. Yeah, it's terrible. It is fucking terrible. And the way I look at it is like, this is all methodically planned out by white America. Because when they set these predictions for black people, they will do whatever it takes to get there. You see it right now. You see it how they're rolling back our advancements, messing with education, taking our jobs away, taking our homes away, stripping us of everything we've worked hard for and doing it only to us. If you really look at it, I'm not talking about the stuff with ICE and all that, because that's fucking horrible on its own accord, right? But when it comes to targeting people in the American society, they always fucking with us. It's because if you're going to survive all the shit that I'm talking about that happened to me, which is minuscule compared to all the shit women have gone through before me 1,000 times, right? And they looking at us and they going, yeah, these motherfuckers got a lot of resilience in them. They get through obstacles like it ain't nothing. We got to find a way to deal with these motherfuckers. And they found it. They have found it. Mama and daughter. The division, the separation and divide of that will kill the black women. Because as hard as I am, as strong as I am, if you don't think what my daughter is doing is not ripping my fucking heart from my chest, you're crazy. I think about that shit every motherfucking day. Do I let it debilitate me? No, because I still have to function. I have other children. I have other grandchildren. But to have a part of me floating out there somewhere acting like it hates me, that's some bullshit I can't easily digest, okay? And that's real. And I know I'm not the only one. And this shit does affect me, and I know it affects her too. So why they keep letting these people do it, put the wedge in between us, is beyond me. She could talk to me, and I know all those other women could talk to their mamas too. They just like what the fuck they're doing. They like to inflict the pain again and again because they bugged out. They done drank the Kool-Aid. They have become like the fucking overseer. They are literally like them because nobody in their right mind does that to their family when you don't have a real reason. Now, if I was the type of mother where I'm hoeing out my daughter, I'm beating her half to death, I'm letting some nigga I'm fucking beat my daughter, then yeah, she deserves to hate me, even fucking kill me if she wants to. But that wasn't the situation at all. At all. The first time she got pregnant, I said, oh, let me go. We got to get her a car. She can't be on public transportation. I'm afraid for her safety. We live in New York City. Anything can happen to my child. They could push my child into the fucking train station, the tracks. They could kill us. That I have to protect her. She get pregnant again. What does mama do? She need a bigger car. She get pregnant again. She need an even bigger car. Okay. This is what black mothers do. So to sit here and say we're all fucked up, we don't love our daughters, and we love our sons more, and all that crazy shit be swirling around on here, it's bullshit. Because truth be told, and I hope none of my other children see this video ever, I always favored my daughters over my sons. Always. When their father sent the money monthly for them, I always gave the girl more. The girls more than the boys. More. I always spent more time with the girls more than the boys. Always. If I bought something, I give it to the girls and tell the boys, next time, boys. Boys go, okay. Girls, every time, they get it every time. If it was any favoritism, it was towards them. But let them tell it. They always get the raw end of the stick. Not true. It's a fucking lie. I used to work on Jamaica Avenue, right? My daughter used to come to my job with her girlfriend and pick up my fucking debit card to go shopping. What bad mother does that with her kid? What bad mother? I tell her, don't spend no more than this. She goes off. I don't give a fuck what she's spending the money on. Her father sent it for me to take care of her. If she wants to buy wigs, weaves, makeup, that's her motherfucking business. Back then, it used to be a store we used to always go to. What's the name of that jeans store? They closed it. It used to be called Vim's, VIM in New York City. Used to have all like the latest jeans for the teenagers, sneakers, jackets, coats, all that shit. Every Friday. I got paid every Friday. Her and a little friend, a Cheria was her name. They come to my job. I wasn't even off work. Oh, mommy. Okay, here you go. The security let them up. She come get my debit card. The two of them off on Jamaica Avenue shopping. They meet me when I get off at 5 o'clock. We jump in the car. We drive home. Drop a Cheria off. Bad mothers don't do shit like that. That's why I'm telling y'all, a lot of these girls on here are full of shit. They're the type of young girls that don't listen to the advice their mother give them. They get themselves in bad situations, and now that they done fucked up their life, they need somebody to blame. And how conveniently white women and therapists and white people with all their alienation and no contact conveniently comes in to make them feel like they're justified in their fucking hatred towards their own mother. It's ridiculous. And thank you for listening, because now that I've done this video, I don't give a fuck about talking about this no more. And if they want to continue to act this way, Godspeed. You know what I'm saying? Because life is very funny, y'all. And take this lesson from me. Be careful the shit you do to people in this life, because karma is real. And even though you might not think, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, it will happen to you. I can tell you, my grandmother has been dead almost 20 years now. And some of the things that she used to tell me not to do, be careful of, things she told me I didn't understand. It took all this time in life for me to understand what she was telling me and for me to actually suffer the shit that she warned me about not doing come true to fuck me up later on in life. And I'm telling you, don't do no wicked shit to your mother and them, because it's going to come back to you. And it's not going to come back to you through no fucking outsiders. It's going to come back to you through them same little people you push out your body, the way they push me out, that I did fucked up shit to my mother. They turned around and did the same shit to me. And that's the same thing that's going to happen to them, because they not understanding that they sitting there disrespecting their mother, talking shit about their mother, turning their children against their mother, and they're teaching their kids how to teach the kids what to do to them and treat them the same fucking way in years to come. If you think I'm bullshitting, watch and see. Time, you know they got a saying, time fixes everything. That's what happened. My grandmother used to tell me, stop doing certain things that disrespect your mother. I don't like that. I don't like what you're doing. You weren't raised like that. I was young. I had just got married. I didn't think I could need to listen to my mother tell me shit. Not that I didn't go no contact, but I was disrespectful. My grandmother got on me, my grandfather, my father, everybody, right? It wasn't until my daughter started dating and went off to college that all the shit my grandmother told me, you don't need to do that. You need to stop doing that shit. I got all that shit back. Believe me when I tell you. I worried. I had to fly down there in emergency, go get my daughter. She was injured. She needed emergency surgery. All the shit my grandmother told me, she said, it's going to come back. It's going to stop it. I didn't listen. You know why I didn't listen? Because I was listening to this nigga whispering in my ear, telling me shit to make me fuck with my mother. My father's dead, So if he would have been alive, he would have caught the business too. But these are the things when people are telling y'all, be careful the shit you do to people and the energy you put out. Because believe me, life is the greatest teacher. The greatest teacher. And it is the biggest fucking equalizer. You may think you getting away with some shit. The person may die and all that. Life's still gonna get your ass. It's still gonna teach you the lesson you meant to be taught. It's coming for you, and ain't nothing stopping it. So please do right by your people, okay? Do right by your people, because believe me, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's going to circle back around to your ass one way or another. It's going to get you. You're not going to be able to shit all over everybody, sleep well at night, and eat good and be prosperous for the rest of your life fucking over other people. It does not work like that. So don't fall into this shit and these traps these people put out here for you. Right now, this is a strategic trend they got to divide Black women from their daughters. And the silly daughters are falling for it. And there's too many of them. Let the white folks do that shit if that's what they want to do. Black women, you stick with your mamas. Stick with your mamas and your grandmamas. Learn something and get something out of life. Because you know, as your mama's working hard and she paying into them insurance policies and she paying into her retirement, or she thinking about buying that condo or buying a house or whatever the fuck she got going on, buying some land, she got a business, she own a cab stand, whatever the fuck it is, do right. So when she get ready to leave, she do right by you. And I'm not just saying that for y'all to be greedy and going after people's money, but that's how I was raised. My great-grandfather worked on the railroads, right? He put policies for his son and his grandson. When they got that money and they set their lives up, because remember, y'all, Black people back then did not have bank accounts. They couldn't get credit from the bank. They couldn't get loans, none of that shit. So the only time they came into money was when somebody, because mostly men was the ones allowed to have policies, right? They worked hard. They put their money in the policies. And they had to wait for the father to die for the family to come into any money. So that's what my great-grandfather did. He put money in them policies. He paid them policies up for 3 generations. When they got the money and it got to my father did the same thing. And so when we turned a certain age, we got money from our grandfather and our father. All of that stuff helped us in our adult lives. It helped me and my husband move into our first place. It also helped us to put money down on our first house, even though we lost the house in the divorce, but we at least got it. Get it? All right? So shit like that is what happens when families stick together and they take care of and worry about the next generation. But when you have white women and therapists and white America and everybody trying to tell young Black girls to hate their mothers and go no contact, you eliminate all of that from happening. You get no leg up. You get nobody supporting you, pushing you and being behind you to help you, or even just to leave you money when they not here no more. Because sometimes people can't help you in this life. They got to pass away, and then you get maybe 100,000, 50, 70, 90,000 that you didn't have before. And now maybe instead of you being a person that was unsure of your living situation, now you could go put a down payment on a little small house or something, or a condo, co-op, whatever, right? And now that's something that you own versus something where you was renting somebody else's shit. All of that comes out of staying with your family, staying with your mama, staying with your aunts, your cousins, your grandmother, whoever's looking out for you. But when you listening to these white people and all this psychobabble bullshit, you fucking yourself up for the future. Because now you're going to go from poor to fucking poverty to being completely destitute. when you isolate yourself from people who could care for you. And that's the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't make sense because women forget. They go out here, they marry these men, they live with these men, they have all these fucking babies for these men, and these same motherfuckers any day could wake up one morning and go, you know what? Today's a good day to say, fuck my kids, fuck this bitch, and fuck this family shit. I'm out. Then what's she gonna do? She been sitting in the motherfucking house for the last 5 to 10 years, working a part-time job, got no fucking education, but a household full of kids, ain't had a job in about 15 years. Who the fuck is hiring her? How the fuck is she surviving and taking care of herself and her children now that he done said, fuck y'all, I'm tired of this shit. I can do something else with my life. These are the things that these stupid women don't think about. And this shit happens every day. Or, better yet, he could go to work one day and never fucking come home again because somebody done blew his fucking brains out. Or he just dropped dead. Or he can go to work one day and come back a paraplegic or disabled to the point where he only make a little bit less than half of the salary he made before. How the fuck you going to survive then? This is why there's an old saying that says you don't break bridges because you never know when the fuck you got to go back over them. And these are the things that these stupid young girls listening to these niggas out here that have nothing going for them are falling for. And that, like I started out earlier in the video saying, is part of the domestic violence pyramid. Isolation from your family, loved ones and friends by being in a relationship or feeling like, you know, you want to alienate or go no contact with motherfuckers is the reason why so many black women end up battered, bruised, and a victim of black femicide. It is a fucking reality. A sad reality, but a real one. And it's about time that somebody starts saying this shit, because right now it's just a bunch of people, you know, acting like it's cool or it's trendy to come on the internet and to confess to the whole world, yeah, I fucking hate my mother. I think she's a bitch. And everybody's like, yay, 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 good job, girl, good job. And in the meantime, if that idiot ever needs something, or God forbid her mother drops dead today or tomorrow, and now she never has anybody again, ever, to take the place of her mother, what the fuck do those people care who is advocating for her cruelty towards her mother? What do they care about what happens to her, or how she's living, or how her kids are living? These are all the things these dumbass girls are not thinking about. And people will convince you to do shit that's harmful for yourself. They will put the battery in your back and let you run around and fuck yourself up and then laugh at you when shit falls apart for you. This is what they do. Y'all know it's what they do. We see it every day on here, every day. Every time we watch a couple of these stories on TikTok or whatever, we'll see, like last month, I started making jokes about it because it was like every other month, it was some young girl on here with a black eye, fucked up, talking about, can somebody help me out, please? Look what he did to my eye. All because she'd rather beef with her mama and run off with some dude than to listen when her mother told her, I know a piece of shit when I see one. And this motherfucker ain't no good. Stay away from him. Stay in school. Start working. Get your life together. You can fuck around with these dudes later. They don't listen. That's also part of the no contact. I want to alienate my parents, is because these simple-minded girls think mothers are trying to control them. Ain't nobody fucking trying to control you. Do you not understand it's my job to look out for you, to provide you with parental fucking guidance? When I tell you, I seen niggas like this motherfucker before. I didn't experience them. Get away from that motherfucker. He's dangerous. They don't listen. And then all this shit happens, and then they're crying about it later, or on TikTok with a big ass fucking eye, broken jaw. What the fuck for? Or they don't live. They, like many of the damn creators you see on here, living with these niggas. Every day is a fantasy and fairy tales. They on make believe and playhouse and shit. And look how great we live. And then next thing you know, he's blowing her fucking brains out and shooting himself. How many of that have we seen on here? This is all because when you alienate and go no contact with people who could literally see a situation from the outside looking in better than you can and go, come here. Come here. Get away from this shit. Leave this shit alone. Is what happens. And when they go no contact and the mother don't know what's going on, the mother can't even intervene before some horrific shit happen with the daughter or the grandchildren, because she don't know what the fuck's going on. And that's the other thing they don't think about. I'll go up against the devil himself for one of my kids and would not be afraid. Nobody else gonna do that for your children. Nobody else. And it just don't make no sense how they don't think practically about the whole situation. They don't. They just thinking about what the white folks are telling them. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. That's all I care about. They don't even care about their kids. When their children are telling them, I don't like this. I'll shut up. Do what I say. But yet, they got a problem with their mother telling them, you shouldn't do that shit. That's not some good shit to do. They just don't make sense. All right, y'all, I'm spent with this shit because now I'm getting aggravated. My fucking head is hurting. I'm telling you. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even finish reading all that shit. Let me read this last stuff for y'all. I don't want to leave y'all hanging. Because I want y'all to see how they incorporate the racism and the bullshit to try to gaslight you into continuing what they're trying to get you to do. You got to see it to believe it. It's just such bullshit. I'm telling you. Where was I at? I think I was, here I was. All right, I was up to breaking the cycle. Let me see. Yeah, breaking the cycle, right? So some more long-term effects of Black mother and daughter no contact effects. Breaking the cycle of generational trauma. Many rifts are rooted in intergenerational trauma patterns like tough love or harsh discipline. Didn't I tell you how they try to gaslight you? Now here they're trying to incorporate all those stereotypes about Black women, how we supposed to be as mothers, how all children live the same and everybody's being fucked up and you living in poverty. This is all stereotypical bullshit, but let's read it. So many rifts are rooted in intergenerational trauma patterns like tough love or harsh discipline that were once survival mechanisms but are now experienced as toxic. Cycle breaking. By going no contact, the daughter often creates an emotional firewall that prevents these behaviors, like parentification or emotional suppression from reaching her own children. Right there, that shit right there is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because listen, if you take yourself and your children out of a household where they're living with parents, grandparents, maybe a cousin or two or whatever you got going on with a whole lot of extended family in that household, what the fuck you mean they escaping parentification and emotional suppression? When you take kids out of a household with more people and more support and you put them in a household with less people and less support, the only fucking thing that's gonna happen is parentification, because the people that used to do the shit for the kids are no longer there. So now the kids got to do it for themselves or for somebody else. This is why I tell you, the shit they put on here is built-in bullshit where if you're not paying attention, they will catch you slipping. Because that's dumb and it doesn't make any sense and it's not based or rooted in reality. It is based and rooted in stereotypes. Here we go. Isolation versus protection. Again, white people shit. Long-term this can lead to a healthier nuclear family for the daughter. What healthy nuclear family ever has a black woman survive? Because we have never had nuclear families. Whenever you put a black woman alone in a household with a black man and some kids, those kids are going to be getting their ass kicked. Some of them are going to be getting their asses dug in. And the mother is definitely going to get fucked up more than one time. That is bullshit. So you see how they lie? And you see how they put this what is that word? Patriotic bullshit in it. Long term, this can lead to healthier nuclear family. Who the fuck is always talking about nuclear family? White motherfuckers. Black people never talked about this shit till they start throwing this goddamn code word around. But it may also mean the loss of the village, the kinship networks, and big mass that's historically provided child care and community support in black neighborhoods, along with financial support, mental health support, rest support. Because I be goddamn, it was many a time when my kids was younger and I was in my late 20s. I was working 2 jobs. I would come home. My grandmother didn't live far. I would pack those kids up after I got them from the lady that was taking care of them, take them to my grandmother's house. I go over there. My grandmother would cook for me, let me take a bath and go to fuck to sleep forever. And I would get a break for having to pay for somebody to do something my grandmother would do for free. So it's a lot more than just what they saying here. Plus, I felt like I was home, like I was secure, like I had people who cared about me because they did. People you pay to service you don't give a fuck about you. Half the time, like when I would come home, I would sleep or whatever. I'd wake up. The lady, she'd be nice to the kids and shit, but she ain't never had no conversation for me or no civility for me. Hello, Stephanie, how are you? Today, such and such. I'm going to be leaving at this time. Are you going to pay me today or should I wait for the pay the next time? That's how she would talk to me. There was no pleasantries exchanged between me and her. She didn't give a fuck. She's like, okay, motherfucker, I watch your kids. I cook your shit. I clean your house. When you going to give me my motherfucking money? This is how she would deal with me. So it's way more to it than just what these people are saying. But they don't know stuff like that because this shit is written by white people who have never experienced black women living. Keep that in mind when y'all be running to this bullshit like it is the ultimate all-knowing, because it's not. It's programmed by white racists. So now you're talking about the silent sin, right? Say silent sin and social stigma. Because of the high value, what the fuck? Because of the high value placed on mother-child bond in black culture, it's respect. Estrangement is often treated as a cardinal. You motherfucking right, it's a cardinal sin. Because in black families until 2025, mothers and daughters fight, argue all the time, have disagreements, stop talking to each other, but they come back together out of respect for one another. Shit. Sometimes when I was first married, my mother would come to my house, tell me certain things that she thought that I could do differently around the house. You know what I tell my mother? I said, listen, mommy, that may have been good for you and my father, but I don't want to do that. And I don't think you should tell me that because I'm not interested in that advice. My mother would cuss me out. I would say, okay, Ma, I don't want you to come back for another day or two. She would respect that. She'd leave. She wouldn't fuck with me on the phone. She would leave and come back a couple of days later, talking shit, but she still come back. I didn't give a fuck because I knew that's what she would do, and she knew what I would do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Why are those days gone? She's entitled to be who she is. I either accept it or don't. I'm entitled to be who I am. She either accept it or don't. Either way, it's not going to change who I am and who she is. That's another lesson these young ass girls need to learn. You cannot fucking change people or try to make them into who you want them to be. Learn to deal with motherfuckers. This ain't Burger King. You don't get to have it your fucking way. Okay, what else we talking about here? Community validation. I don't know what they talking about. Invalidation. Long term, the daughter may face sideways looks. What the fuck you talking about? See how you know this is white people shit? Sideways looks. What are you talking about? Always trying to use slang or what they consider AAVE the wrong fucking way. What does that have to do with anything? I'm not going to read no more of that shit. I'm going to go to the next one. The grief of the living bereavement. Now, this is some real shit right here. Because a lot of people have said this on like those lives I was listening to earlier. The mothers were literally saying that they were considering their daughters dead to them. That's fucked up. I don't consider my daughter dead. I consider my daughter a fucking fool right now, but still a fucking fool that I care about. So, okay, it said the grief of the living bereavement. Unlike a death, the mother is still alive, leading to a state of ambiguous loss. Okay. The daughter may cycle through years of guilt and relief, while the mother may experience a profound sense of failure that is rarely discussed openly in the community. I can agree with that. But then I'm going to tell you, Black women, they change and they learn to acclimate with what's going on, right? They are going to eventually stop being sad. They're going to get angry and they're going to be like, I don't give a fuck. That everybody who knows Black women knows that's going to come too. But see, these white people don't know that. That's why they didn't put that in there. The last part is this. The impact on multi-generational legacy. This is the shit I talk about. Black families often rely on oral history or shaped lineage passed down through women. All cultures do, not just us. Loss of heritage, long-term no contact can lead to a severed branch in the family. It's true. You can lose your whole family. The next generation may grow up without knowing their family's history, knowing their people, knowing anything about their own fucking identity. They talking dumb shit like recipes or specific stories of their ancestors' resilience. What kind of fucking wordage is this? Anyway. Then here they go with this psychobabble bullshit that none of this shit is real. Talking about a mother wound. What the fuck is that? Your mother picked up a knife and cut you and left you a scar to remember? This is some bullshit, okay? This don't y'all ingest this bullshit they're teaching y'all. This is no such thing as a fucking mother wound. It's a goddamn miscommunication. You not accepting a motherfucker telling you something is what it is. You still want to say it's something else. That's all that is. Left unaddressed through therapy or internal work, of course. The daughter may inadvertently develop a fear of becoming her mother. How the fuck is she going to become a mother? She only becomes her mother if she makes a conscious fucking decision to follow the same behavior patterns or the same mindset of the mother. They are not fucking Siamese twins. Every single person has a choice in how the fuck they act, how they think, and what the fuck they do. This is all psychobabble bullshit. But let me finish reading, right? So they say they don't want to develop a fear of becoming a mother, their mother, which can paradoxically create new anxieties in their own parenting style. That's bullshit. You're not, listen, let me come back and talk to y'all a lot bigger faced. 1 minute, okay? That's a bunch of bullshit. Now, y'all done already heard me tell you, my mother was a stone cold motherfucking junkie because of my father. I have never used drugs. I don't even fucking drink. I am like a social drinker. Occasionally, if they pass around wine, I take a little glass of wine. I had maybe in my lifetime 3 motherfucking apple martini, Manhattan martini, some other type of martinis. I could count the shit on my hand. So all that shit where they trying to tell you that you are literally gonna what's that shit? Manifest your destiny into some bullshit that's negative is a bunch of bullshit. It only happens when you believe the bullshit. If I sit here and I have low self-esteem or I have low expectations for my life, I go, you know what? I don't really think I'm worth much. I don't deserve shit in life. I'm going to go ahead and become a drug addict like my mama and my daddy. I'm going to start putting heroin all through my fucking body. I'm going to be around here looking worse than Popeye ever fucking looked because that's what I think I deserve. Ain't nobody sitting around thinking no dumb shit like that. People who give up on themselves or who think they don't deserve shit, they do that shit. I'm telling you, I seen my mother and father with the glass of water full to the middle with the needle in it, the blood floating around in it, the fucking, that little plastic fucking thing they put in their teeth in. I seen all that shit as a little kid. I seen them motherfuckers nodding out in the bathroom. I seen them shooting up in the living room, hiding this shit in the kitchen. Do you think I ever touched that shit? No. Do you think my brothers and sisters touched that shit? No. But according to these motherfuckers, we should have all either been drug dealers, crack whores, or junkies like our parents, right? Because what's that saying? The apple don't fall far from the tree. Yes, it fucking does. When you have common sense and you know, I love my parents, but there's something wrong with them motherfuckers. And as little kids, me and my brothers and sisters would say to each other, Mommy and Daddy, we love them, but we're not going to do that when we grow up. We didn't even know what the fuck it was. We just knew it wasn't right. And it made them bugged out. Sometimes we didn't find this out till later, right? When them motherfuckers was having a Jones and they couldn't get high, they would fuck the house up. Me and my brothers and sisters, all of us had our own hiding places in the house. Me and my sister and my younger brother, we would go hide in the hallway closet. The other ones, they would hide in the basement. One of them used to hide in the attic. All of us had our spots. Because you know what we said? When them motherfuckers is losing their minds, we getting out of sight. We not going to be in the way to get fucked up. As little teeny kids, we understood that. So when these people who's supposed to have PhDs and every fucking master's degree, whatever they call it, where they supposed to be smarter than everybody, they wasn't smarter than us little kids. Because we knew for a fucking fact something was wrong with our mother and father. And whatever the fuck was wrong with them was not going to be wrong with us. And we didn't touch none of that shit. We didn't smoke reefer. We ain't smoke nothing. We ain't drink nothing. We stayed away from all that shit. Because all we had to do was think about them motherfuckers. Was enough for us. So y'all be careful with the shit they be putting in these books, putting on the internet for you to read and try to believe. They will try to make you feel like you are less than the shit underneath somebody's shoe if you allow them to. Do not allow them to do that shit to you. Like I told you, it was 6 of us in a house with 2 fucking junkies until our grandparents eventually adopted us and took us the fuck out of there and took them 2 niggas to the detox place, right? But the court don't work fast. So my grandparents first got visitation before they got full custody of us. But in the meantime, we still had to go through junkie acrobatics and shit and junkie tantrums. We had to deal with that shit for a long time until we got taken up out of there. But as little children, we knew, even though our parents was not acting right, we still loved our parents, but we knew something was wrong with them. Because when I go to my other little friend's house on the block, their mother and father wasn't junkies. Their mother and father didn't have them needles sticking out their arms, and they wasn't bugging out the way our parents was bugging out when they needed to get high. And they didn't have other junkies in their house getting high too. But we did. We had all that shit in our house. So I tell all of you this to tell you, no matter what fucking circumstance you in, that shit does not have to dictate a life of fucking suffering or insufferable bullshit with it from another person if you don't want it to. You look at that shit for what it is. Yeah, that's some dysfunctional shit. I'm going to have to deal with it until I can't deal with it or don't have to deal with it no more. But I'm not going to let that shit affect me to the point where I become fucked up and dysfunctional. That is completely possible. Me and the rest of my 5 siblings can attest to that shit. Every single one of us graduated from school. Every single one of us take care of our children with or without the fucking spouse. None of our children have ever been arrested, spent time in prison, or been running up and down the street from the cops, or been involved with drug trafficking, drug use, drug selling, selling ass. None of that shit. None of that shit. But have these white folks tell it, I'm supposed to be a crack whore, my daughter's supposed to be one, and my grandchildren. And that's not how life works. So please stop listening to these people tell you who the fuck you supposed to be. If black women are out here raising children, surviving sexual assault, incest, battery, near-death experiences, human trafficking, local prostitution, kidnapping, whatever the fuck else is out there, you could survive a fucking argument and a disagreement with your mother. You can damn sure survive that shit. Make the situation and the relationship work. Set your fucking boundaries. Be a woman and a daughter at the same goddamn time with respect. With respect. I sat here and told you, I was a married woman with 4 kids. My mother slapped the absolute shit out of me. My eyes was bigger than my head. I ran to my grandmother. Your daughter, go get her. And she did. I'm not squaring up with my mother. What the fuck? This is the shit that listening to white folks and their therapy and the shit they teaching you about boundaries and personal space and whatever other shit they coming up with to make you disrespectful to your elders is going to cost you in the long run. Not just the bullshit I read off of Chat GPT or whatever the fuck it was. It's going to cost you real life personal integrity. It's going to cost you real life fucking losing people that really could have your back when you need them to. Believe me, if you ass out, you need money, or you need to escape from a motherfucker, ain't no white therapist or no white motherfucker selling books like, what's that shit she wrote? Where's that motherfucking book? Ain't no bitch. What's this bitch's name? Lindsay Gibson, PhD, author of Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. She ain't gonna give you $500 to get the fuck out of town. Or she ain't gonna come drive wherever the fuck you are in the middle of the night, put you and the kids in the car, pull out her fucking sawed-off shotgun and tell that nigga, you come close to my daughter, I'm gonna blow your motherfucking back out of your body. She ain't gonna do that. But your mama will. She ain't gonna show up with a fucking machete and stand in the door between you and that nigga and say, jump if you feel froggy, motherfucker. She ain't gonna do that. But your mama will. Okay? Your mama is not gonna come with the 9 and rack that motherfucker and let him know, I will take you the fuck out of here if you put your hands on my daughter one more motherfucking time. That bitch ain't gonna do that. And the teachings that they tell you is not going to stop you from having that shit happen to you, listening to them. But your mama and what she's telling you will. Because many a times, junkie or not, when I first was going through it with my first husband and did not know what I was doing, my mother showed up 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, and she was not fucking playing. And she didn't show up by herself. She had that fucking 9 right by her side. And she had already been arrested. So going to jail didn't mean shit to her. And she made it well known. Nigga, I will kill you up in here. Fucking with my daughter and my grandchildren. You will die tonight. That's what mamas do. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with these young girls out here. But you know what? Let them live a little bit more. Maybe they will understand what it is mamas really do. Because as much as I talk about my mother being a junkie, and she was also smart. She was also loving. She was also very caring, very fucking protective, and did what the fuck she had to do when I needed her to. I used to play around and call her clutch when I got like in my early 30s, because here I was, grown woman, a husband, now a divorce, children, had to leave my house, got to move into an apartment, right? My husband gone. The money that he was supposed to start paying with the courts didn't kick in yet. So when I found myself light and not able to take care of my obligations to myself and my children, who do I rely on? Mom, I don't have enough for the rent this month. Can you help me with the rent? I don't have all the money to pay for my son's whatever, my daughter's ballet, whatever. Ma, thank you, Ma. I'll pay it back as soon as I get the money. That is what mothers do. So I don't know what the fuck these young girls are talking about. All right? My mother may not have been coherent the majority of my life. But when it was time for her to do what I needed her to do, she didn't fucking hesitate. Okay? She didn't hesitate. Especially during the time in her life after going through detox and being clean and me really needing her when I had children of my own and my father been dead, and now I got men trying to get strong on me, and me being young, dumb, and not knowing what to do. My mother showed up and took care of everything, handled every motherfucking thing like a fucking G. She came in and was like, nah, you're not doing this. Not here, not with mine, you not. And she was not playing. And she did all of that with her little 5'2" fucking self. She was not playing. That's the kind of shit people don't remember or don't want to revisit when they talking about black mamas. They don't want to talk that surface bullshit everybody else be talking about. Oh, she called me a bitch. She slapped my face. She slapped the shit out of me. She did this, she did that. But they never talk about how she gave you that pep talk when your ass needed it. She came through when nobody fucking else did. She didn't care about going to jail if she had to take this motherfucker's life because he didn't know how to act right with you. They never talk about that. And I know my mother is not the only one. I know she's not. Because I got cousins, I got aunts, I got people married into my family where their mothers was just as much as mine. Just as, I was about to say another word, but I didn't want to say that. Just as much. And did more. So nah. If y'all gonna be around here disrespecting black women and motherhood, then you need to be out here giving the same energy to respecting black women and motherhood for the shit that they do that is completely selfless when they fucking do it. My mother has saved me many a times in life. Many a times when I'm young, dumb, don't know what I'm doing, and doing shit I ain't got no business doing. My mother come through in her Cadillac. Get your ass in this car and come on. I had to get my ass in the car and come on. Many black mothers are like that. And it's just crazy how they're all on these internet apps and whatnot, making it seem like all our mothers are pieces of shit, don't care about us, treat us like shit, want the worst for us, when nothing could be further than the fucking truth. It's crazy, y'all. Totally crazy. It is really crazy. It really is. Even now, with this shit my daughter's doing with the no contact with me, my mother's still there. My mother's still there doing what I am not able to do. My mother's still doing it. My mother's doing the consoling, doing the teaching and the listening. She's doing it instead of me. But that is what black mothers do. Because you can't make nobody do nothing they don't want to do. But even though my daughter's playing this stupid no contact game with me, she got plenty of motherfucking contact with her grandmother, with my mother doing everything I should be doing. But that is what black mothers do. Okay? That's what they do. And that's it, y'all. I'm spent. I'm spent. I'm just like, sometimes I think about this shit and I get so aggravated, so angry. But then I gotta ride through that emotion and let it circle back around to like, they gonna learn. No matter what, they gonna learn. That is one thing about life. None of us is escaping this shit without the lessons it got planned for us. That's it. Ain't nothing else to say about that shit. You not escaping that shit. It's coming for you. You gonna learn what the fuck you supposed to learn. No matter how much you run from it, it's still gonna get your ass. And that's the only thing that gives me solace, because I go, okay, my turn today, your ass tomorrow. Believe me, because life is not gonna skip you. It's coming, and it's gonna get you when it's supposed to get you. Not before, right when it's supposed to. That's all. That's all. So I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble and fuck up reading the whole chat GPT shit, but I ain't give a fuck about that anyway. But I just wanted to let y'all see how they always weave in the stereotypes, the low expectation, trying to downplay you, gaslight you, make you think that you're not supposed to want shit for yourself. They always weave that in there. Always remember that. Always challenge all that shit you research from them, because it's underlying indoctrination. They want you to feel like I got no win. Everywhere I go, I lose. No. That's not how life works. You lose this today, tomorrow you get something else. Today this door closed, tomorrow the next door opens. That's how life is. And don't let no motherfucker tell you that is different from that. Because we are living proof of that. And if you don't remember shit else and you need a sad story to make you keep going, use mine. A motherfucker had 2 junkies for parents and got 2 fucking degrees, have everything I'm supposed to have in life, except for my daughter. I want my daughter back, but I don't have her currently. But that don't mean the future gonna stay that way. A motherfucker might change. And I'm banking on that, okay? But just because she acting like an asshole don't mean I'm an asshole. Everything I do for everybody else, I do for her too. She just don't know it. So whenever I kick the bucket, she good. All of them good. Because I do what black mamas supposed to do. Okay? All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and do something else with myself, because When I think about this shit too much, I start getting sad and fucking start watching old home movies and shit like that. And I don't want to do that tonight, okay? All right. See y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me. Have a very good night. And please love your people and let your people love you, all right? Don't let these motherfuckers get in your head. They get in your head, that's how they conquer you. Do not let that shit happen. Always remember, their number one go-to is always divide and conquer. Because you got to think about it, y'all. When it comes to a people, you can't control masses of people without giving them a reason to listen to you. And most of the time, the reasons they come up with is reasons to make motherfuckers have a problem with one another and look to them for the fucking solution. Don't let it be like that. Don't let them hoodwink you. Don't let them fool you. Let them know I am much smarter than that shit. I am not falling for that bullshit you peddling. Sorry. All right, guys. Good night. Good night. Thank you very much. Good night, y'all. Good night. Love your people. Love your people. Mamas love your daughters. Daughters love your mamas. It's the only fucking one you're going to have in this life. Make that shit count. Good night, black women. Good night.